Yimo realized this moment that his formation system came from the 3-birth chant. It was a unique system and he didn't need to study others' formations. No matter how unique others' formations were, as long as he was a level 9 formation grandmaster, other level 9 formations meant nothing to him. Yimo realized this moment that his formation system came from the 3-birth chant. It was a unique system and he didn't need to study others' formations. No matter how unique others' formations were, as long as he was a level 9 formation grandmaster, other level 9 formations meant nothing to him. The first 16 discs experience told him that all level 8 formations couldn't stop him because he was a level 8 formation grandmaster. If he wanted to focus on studying other people's formations, he would instead be heading down the wrong path. For other formations, he only needed to know the logic behind the formation. At this moment, Yimo's view finally opened up. His formation skills finally opened a crevice between level 8 and level 9. The moment he stood up and sprayed down formation flags, he reached level 9 formation grandmaster. Meng Qi saw Yimo walk out of the illusion formation and start to spend less and less time on formations. Eventually, he spent most of the time collecting spirit herbs. There were a few level 8 spirit herbs at the 17th disc. Meng Qi finally couldn't resist asking, "Martial Brother Yi, you've broken through?" Yimo smiled. "That's right, I've just reached level 9 formation grandmaster. So the 17th disc's formations pose no threat to me. I went down a wrong path before, otherwise I would have reached level 9 formation grandmaster earlier." Meng Qi took a cold breath in. Yimo really became a level 9 formation grandmaster in such a short time. Were there really such people in the world? She had completely forgotten she was on Yimo's back now and said after a while, "Martial Brother Yi, when you went into the Chu 18 discs, were you certain you could break through to level 9 formation grandmaster?" Yimo shook his head. "How can that be possible? I wasn't certain at all, but the Chu 18 discs is a special place. It helps greatly with understanding formations. I think this is set up by some ancient sect to help sect members understand formations." If Yimo wasn't able to break through to level 9 formation grandmaster, he still had his backup. He would go into the Golden Page world and ask Jiling for help. If even Jiling couldn't help him, he would hide into the Golden Page world. When the two reached the 18th disc, they were shocked by the scene before them. At this moment, they realized that they stood at the peak of the 18th disc. There was no pressure nor formation here. This meant that Chu 18 discs only had 17 discs. The last disc was just for show. At the peak in the middle, there was a huge spirit gathering formation, and in the center there were two extreme dense spirit Kai spirit ranges. Extreme grade spirit range. Meng Qi yelled out in shock. She had never seen one before, but she recognized it. Yimo took a cold breath in too. They were really indeed extreme grade spirit ranges. What shocked him the most were the two white jade tables next to the spirit range. Each table had something on it. The first was a female-style handkerchief and the other was an azure ore. Yimo was sure that the handkerchief was beyond an extreme-grade cultivation artifact. This meant that it might be a low-grade immortal artifact. However, it was for women. The azure ore caught Yimo's attention more. Usually blue gave people a cool feeling, but Yimo felt this intense heat from it. It's an extreme-grade cultivation artifact. Meng Qi called out and her eyes were full of desire as she stared at the handkerchief. But she immediately remembered she was still on Yimo's back and quickly said, "Martial Brother Yi, put me down. There's no pushing force here." Yimo put her down and stared at the handkerchief. "That's definitely not an extreme-grade cultivation artifact. I have a feeling it's a low-grade immortal artifact." Meng Qi's embarrassment retreated and her face was covered in shock. Even only a rare few 9-star sects could have low-grade immortal artifacts. "The handkerchief is yours, the blue ore is mine," Yimo said without hesitation. He felt that ore would benefit him greatly, but he didn't know how. Meng Qi quickly waved her hand. "I won't take it, you can have it all, Martial Brother Yi. I can only come here because of you. I just want you to take me out of here and let me use the space travel rune to leave Luoyu continent and I will be very happy." Yimo smiled. "Does it look like I'm someone who takes everything for myself? That handkerchief is for girls, since we encountered it we can share it. I will take one of the extreme grade spirit ranges." Meng Qi quickly said, I won't take the spirit range, I can't take it. She already agreed to Yi Mo giving her the handkerchief. Yi Mo nodded. I know you can't take it, but the other one can't be taken, it must be left here. Why? Meng Qi asked in confusion. Yi Mo waved his hand. It's hard to explain, but you just need to know it must not be taken away. If Yi Mo took away the other one, it might cause the formations to fail like in the Ice God Forbidden Grounds. That would be suicide. Just when Yi Mo took out the spirit range, he felt something was wrong. He couldn't care to think much and threw the handkerchief to Meng Qi while he took the blue ore. At the same time he released Blue Moon. Meng Qi realized the moment she felt the handkerchief that it was definitely higher than an extreme-grade cultivation artifact. As soon as Meng Qi got on Blue Moon, Yi Mo threw out a few formation flags and Blue Moon went into stealth mode. He dashed out of Chu 18 discs and left. When Yi Mo took one of the extreme-grade spirit ranges, everyone felt a rumble on the island. What's going on? Some cultivators called out. In that instant, the remaining contestants were teleported out. Wang Kang breathed easy, the Tonghai sect's people weren't able to pass the 9th disc and were teleported out. But that rumbling didn't go on for very long before stopping. When Yonglani saw that Yi Mo wasn't teleported out, his power rose and he reached out to grab Jing Xueqing, who went into the 11th disc. He was the only cultivator who passed the 10th disc and Yi Mo had gone missing in the 10th disc, so the first he was going to ask was Jing Xueqing. But before his hand reached Jing Xueqing, another cultivation essence giant hand reached out and the two hands collided. A huge explosion sounded and a huge ravine appeared where they clashed. Cult leader Yong has such a big temper, but it's not enough to do what you want with the Kanghai Palace, a cold voice sounded and a middle-aged man stood out. Yong Lani calmed down, he realized his actions were inappropriate just then. He could do that to other people but not to Kanghai Palace cultivators. The first king of Kanghai Palace Jing Xiangdong was only a little weaker than him and was also truth realization state level 9. Realizing this, Yong Lani saluted with his fists. Brother Jin, I was desperate to get revenge for my son, sorry about the offense, but can Brother Jin let your son tell me if he saw Yi Mo at the 10th disc? Hearing this, everyone looked at Wang Kang contemptuously. Yong Lani did the same thing to Sea Cultivator Alliance and Kanghai Palace, but Kanghai Palace dared to retaliate while Sea Cultivator Alliance acted like a coward. Wang Kang heard this of course and his face was extremely bleak, but he didn't say anything. Hearing this, Jin Xiangdong looked at his son. Xueqing, he's asking you a question, if you want to answer then answer, if you don't want answer then let's go. Hearing this, Yong Lani's face went green but he couldn't use this as an excuse to start war with Kanghai Palace. The three kings didn't differ much in power, he wouldn't be able to get the upper hand if they fought. Jin Xueqing realized something and looked at his father in confusion. Father, that Yi Mo didn't come out? How is that possible? We became friends in the 18 discs. Jin Xiangdong heard this and laughed. Xueqing, good eyes. That Yi Mo is a worthy friend. Hearing their conversation, Yong Lani's face grew worse but he realized that Jin Xueqing probably didn't know where Yi Mo was. Then, he looked at Meng Hanan and asked coldly, Vice Alliance Leader Meng, you should know your disciple, how is she? Meng Hanan was shook. She knew she had support, but in front of Yong Lani that was nothing. She also felt despair, ever since the last Alliance leader went missing and Vice Alliance leader Wang Kang took over, the Sea Cultivator Alliance was far from what they used to be. They were still one of the big three, but they were undoubtedly the weakest. Meng Hanan was shook. She knew she had support, but in front of Yong Lani that was nothing. She also felt despair, ever since the last Alliance leader went missing and Vice Alliance leader Wang Kang took over, the Sea Cultivator Alliance was far from what they used to be. They were still one of the big three, but they were undoubtedly the weakest. She took out a jade card and gave it to Yong Lani. Meng Qi has a spirit sense mark, you can feel it through this. Yong Lani took it and scanned his spirit sense before frowning and saying, this spirit sense mark is still inside the Chu 18 discs, this means your disciple Meng Qi is still inside? Meng Hanan bowed and said, theoretically yes, but this spirit sense mark only moved around in a small area for a few days now. I'm not sure. Yong Lani had a bad feeling and that was Yi Mo had left, But he didn't believe his judgment, as one had to reach the 18th disc in order to leave. That means one needed to be a level 9 formation grandmaster, and no matter how much of a genius Yimo was, there was no way he could reach level 9 formation grandmaster within 100 years. The tournament had ended, but no cultivator had left. Everyone wanted to know when Yimo and Meng Qi would come out and see what awaited them. Jin Xueqing had made up his mind that no matter what, he would help Yimo this time. For cultivators, a few days were nothing, and 18 days soon passed. The Chu 18 discs were shrouded in mist again and disappeared from sight. Everyone knew that Yimo wouldn't be coming out, as the Chu 18 discs had shut. It would appear 50 years later. Yong Lanyi's face was green. His cult lost this tournament miserably and he was played like a fool. Most importantly, his son was killed by Yimo inside and he swore to kill Yimo, but Yimo was nowhere to be seen. Meng Hanan felt sad. Since Meng Qi could leave with Yimo, it meant that she found the spirit sense mark on her body. She didn't know how disappointed Meng Qi would be after finding that. She knew that even if she saw her disciple again, they wouldn't be as close as before. At this moment, Blue Moon had left the 3 seas for more than 10 days. It was getting faster and faster. Meng Qi felt this speed and rejoiced that she asked Yimo for help. Otherwise, even if Yong Wuzi died, she wouldn't live well. If her master didn't suspect her at all, she wouldn't be planting a spirit sense mark on her. Ever since Yimo left, he had been studying the blue ore along with cultivation. Even with his knowledge, he didn't know what this blue ore was. Martial brother Yi, I want to ask you of one thing. Half a month later, Meng Qi requested. Yimo looked at her and smiled. I know what you want, but no rush. We've been traveling quite a long way, but it's still not safe yet. After another half month, I will find a place to set up spirit gathering formation for you. We've gone through hardship together. We can be considered friends. I can help you with this. Hearing this, Meng Qi got up in surprise and joy and bowed. Thank you, Martial brother Yi. It's my honor to be friends with you. Half a month later, on a barren island in the Heartless Sea, Yimo took out an extreme-grade spirit range and put up a stealth spirit formation to cover the spirit kai before setting up a spirit gathering formation on it. Meng Qi felt the extremely dense spirit kai in the formation. It was so dense that she felt she didn't need to cultivate, and her cultivation level was increasing. She breathed satisfyingly and bowed to Yimo. After today we might never see each other again, but Martial brother Yi will always be Meng Qi's big brother. Please accept my bow. If it wasn't for you, I might never be able to return home. After realizing the spirit sense mark on her, Meng Qi knew that she was too naive before. She might have been traded off by the Sea Cultivator Alliance before she reached higher cultivation states. Yimo waved his hand. Hurry up and use your rune. It's the Heartless Sea, and although my stealth spirit formation is good, if the spirit kai attracts high-level spirit beasts, then it wouldn't be good. Yes, Meng Qi will be leaving. Take care, brother Yi, Meng Qi said. Then, she took out a golden rune from her dantian and spat essence blood on it. The golden rune activated and turned into a golden whirlpool. It expanded until it covered Meng Qi entirely. The spirit kai ran rapidly and was sucked away. Yimo was shook. This rune was too taxing on spirit kai. Without an extreme-grade spirit range, he might really not be able to use it. According to this, even if she reached higher cultivation states, if she couldn't find a top-grade spirit range and level 9 spirit gathering formation, she still wouldn't be able to use the rune. Meng Qi realized this too when she saw how much spirit kai the space travel rune was devouring. She rejoiced that she had met Yimo, this level 9 formation grandmaster. Although Meng Qi still wanted to say thank you, the golden circle spun faster and faster until it took her away. With a thud, the spirit kai was too volatile and the stealth spirit formation exploded. The dense spirit kai spread out immediately. Yimo quickly took out formation flags and took the extreme-grade spirit range back into his golden page world. As soon as Yimo did this, 2 figures landed on the island. Yimo was shook, thinking they couldn't be this fast. He just took away the spirit range and people were here. Such dense spirit kai. One person said, but the other said nothing. Yimo saw clearly that there were 2 cultivators here, one cauldron filling state level 8 and the one behind was disaster transformation state level 1. Yimo realized that they were just passing by. The cauldron filling state level 8 was running and the disaster transformation state level 1 was hunting him. The cauldron filling state cultivator had a medium build and a bronze-colored face. His hair wasn't long but he released a thick sword. It was a middle-grade cultivation artifact. That disaster transformation state cultivator had 2 small points of mustache, reminding Yimo of that Dongfang Shi on Earth. Immediately, Yimo already had a bad impression of this disaster transformation state cultivator. However, that disaster transformation state instead looked at Yimo. Yimo frowned and cursed his bad luck. He knew that this guy wasn't going to let him go easily. That disaster transformation state frowned at Yimo. What was here before? Did you take it? Otherwise, why is the spirit Kai dissipating? A disaster transformation state level 1, Yimo was sure he couldn't beat him, but he felt he could still run. Thinking about this, Yimo said calmly, "No matter what's here, it has nothing to do with you. How dare you, a mere body condensation state cultivator, talk to me like this?" That disaster transformation state released a red ray. Before Yimo could even see what it was, it already smashed at Yimo's head. Yimo was furious. There was no reason in the cultivation realm. Indeed, power was everything. Yimo released Zishu and hacked. He didn't use illusion cloud and just hacked out with all his cultivation essence. He knew that the disaster transformation state didn't use his full power either. The red ray and purple ray clashed and splashed apart. Yimo was sent flying away a few hundred meters. His cultivation essence rushed around his body, almost making him spit blood. This disaster transformation state cultivator was dazed when he saw the small body condensation state cultivator just flew out and didn't even spit blood after clashing with him. This disaster transformation state cultivator was dazed when he saw the small body condensation state cultivator just flew out and didn't even spit blood after clashing with him. Even an ordinary cauldron filling state cultivator would be heavily injured after that, much less a body condensation state cultivator. Even the cauldron filling state level 8 was surprised. He didn't expect this body condensation state cultivator was so insane. Yimo calmed his rustling cultivation essence and thought to himself that he had already tested it out. Even if he used all his means, he was no match for this disaster transformation state cultivator, but if he wanted to run, this disaster transformation state wouldn't be able to keep him. If he wanted to kill this disaster transformation state, he would need to trap him with a level 8 trap formation and then kill him with lightning sword. But Yimo knew he couldn't set up a level 8 formation in a short while. Yimo saw the magic artifact of this disaster transformation state. It was a red flower. "No wonder you're so cocky, you have some power." The disaster transformation state sneered and was about to come up again. But that cauldron filling state level 8 stopped the disaster transformation state cultivator. He released his thick sword that swept up waves of white light. Yimo saw those waves grew rapidly like inflating balloons. After the waves hacked out, even Yimo could feel the sharp cutting cultivation essence on the side. Yimo approved of this cauldron filling state tertiary stage. He could have ran when the disaster transformation state came, but instead, he helped him stop this disaster transformation state cultivator. The disaster transformation state saw this and sneered. The flower exploded into red rays that covered the heavens and clashed with the sword light, making a piercing sound. This time, the red light was much stronger than the ones Yimo took on. As the two fought, Yimo clearly felt that the cauldron filling state cultivator wasn't a match for the disaster transformation state cultivator. But Yimo felt this cauldron filling state cultivator wasn't simple. He was quite substantial to be able to battle a disaster transformation state cultivator. At this moment, that disaster transformation state used another flying sword cultivation artifact. Seeing this, the cauldron filling state's face changed drastically and tried to retreat, but he wasn't successful. The red flower had trapped him. If the cauldron filling state didn't have another move, he would be dead for sure. But Yimo wasn't planning to keep watching. If that disaster transformation state cultivator didn't attack him, he would be leaving, but that disaster transformation state attacked him. If he didn't get back at him, he wouldn't be Yimo. Yimo wasn't someone to suffer and just run away. Even with Yonglani, he used that jade slip to ridicule him. The disaster transformation state trapped the cauldron filling state and sneered, but before he used his flying sword, a few black lightning swords rained down. They were the size of a child's arm, and that disaster transformation state level 1 was shocked. He didn't expect Yi Mo was a lightning spirit root cultivator and that his lightning style magic was this powerful. This size lightning swords were almost the size of his divine damnation lightning arcs. Without that cauldron filling state level 8, he wouldn't fear this lightning arc, but now he couldn't ignore it. Sensing this, the disaster transformation state released a shield and the red flower expanded. He changed the flying sword he released to also block Yi Mo's lightning sword. That cauldron filling state was going to use his secret technique to escape the domain's control, but he didn't expect this body condensation state to give him such a surprise. He immediately used his cultivation essence and broke free, then he didn't retreat and instead attacked with his sword again. That disaster transformation state was in a hurry to stop the densely cluttered lightning sword and wasn't able to stop the white light. In that short time, the white light grew larger and larger as well as increasing in numbers. This disaster transformation state cultivator felt bad. He didn't expect himself to be unable to beat a body condensation state and cauldron filling state. If it was some ordinary cauldron filling state, he wouldn't be worried at all even when facing 70 or 80. But this body condensation state cultivator was so absurd. His lightning style was no weaker than lightning style cauldron filling state peak stage cultivators, or even the lightning used by disaster transformation state cultivators. Rumble Yi Mo's black lightning rained down on the disaster transformation state's shield. At the same time, the white sword waves grew heavier and heavier. With a thud, the thick sword hacked on the shield and the disaster transformation state spat blood. He knew that if he didn't leave and got stuck here, he might really die. A disaster transformation state cultivator killed by a cauldron filling state and body condensation state, that was a big joke. Thinking about this, the flower suddenly sprayed out a red veil that swept him. When Yi Mo's lightning sword broke this veil, that disaster transformation state cultivator was long gone. Yi Mo didn't mind. He knew that with his current power, unless he set up a trap formation, it was impossible to kill a disaster transformation state cultivator. After the disaster transformation state ran off, the cauldron filling state tertiary stage cultivator also looked at Yi Mo in shock. Although Yi Mo was just body condensation state level 7, he suspected he might even be a match for him. This body condensation state cultivator was the strongest body condensation state he had ever seen. Thank you for helping, friend. I'm Bien Fong Ta. That cauldron filling state saluted with his fists to Yi Mo. Yi Mo also replied politely, I'm Yi Mo, you don't have to worry about just now, I was just helping myself. If it wasn't for you helping, I would need to run. Bien Fong Ta immediately got triggered. That disaster transformation state cultivator is too rude. Just because he's stronger, he was going to kill people on a whim. I found Tu Ju Sheng on a barren island and he was passing by. He wanted to rob me and chased me to here. Jie Sheng was a level 8 spirit herb, also the main spirit herb for disaster will pill. It was extremely precious. No wonder that disaster transformation state cultivator was going to chase Bien Fong Ta. Disaster will pill was the main cultivation pill disaster transformation state cultivators used. It was too hard to cultivate in disaster transformation state. One needed large amounts of spirit kai and high-level spirit herbs. Brother Yi, the nearest powers, the 3 Cs, are also very far from here. Why would you be here alone? Bien Fong Ta asked. He believed that although Yi Mo was strong, he was only body condensation state. It was too unwise for a body condensation state to come here. Yi Mo asked instead, are you from the 3 Cs? Bien Fong Ta shook his head. No, I came from East Black State. The spirit kai is too arid there and there are rarely any high-level spirit herbs. I can barely progress at cauldron filling state tertiary stage. I heard from the Qian Beis in East Black State that the South P State spirit kai is extremely dense and it's the place for immortal ascension, so I left East Black State to go to South P State. You're from East Black State? Yi Mo asked in shock. East Black State was quite a bit from here. Bien Fong Ta nodded. Yes, I left East Black State 50 years ago and flew all the way here on a middle-grade flying cultivation artifact. I've been cultivating as I went and I've encountered many dangers on the way, but I'm very close to South P State. Yi Mo heard this and immediately had respect for Bien Fong Ta. He spent half a century crossing the Heartless Sea just to pursue higher cultivation levels. Yi Mo immediately replied, "Brother Bien, I didn't come from the 3 seas, I came from the South Peace State. If you're using a middle-grade flying cultivation artifact, then it will take less than a year to reach South Peace State. Good luck." Yi Mo immediately replied, "Brother Bien, I didn't come from the 3 seas, I came from the South Peace State. If you're using a middle-grade flying cultivation artifact, then it will take less than a year to reach South Peace State. Good luck." "Brother Yi, you actually came from South Peace State? Is the South Peace State Spirit Kai really dense and suitable for cultivation to immortal ascension?" Bien Fengta asked in surprise and joy. Yi Mo nodded. "That's right, it indeed has dense Spirit Kai. Although I haven't seen people go through immortal ascension, it's indeed the best place for cultivation." "Then you're going back to South Peace State? Let's go together," Bien Fengta immediately said. Yi Mo was only body condensation state, but he was very powerful and a lightning cultivator. It would be much safer for him to go with Yi Mo. Yi Mo said apologetically, "I need to go Heartless Sea to find a herb, so I can't go back with you." Thinking about this, Yi Mo thought of the map Meng Hanan gave him. That position was near the east side. He wondered if Bien Fengta had been there. Thinking about this, he took it out and asked, "Brother Bien, have you been past here?" Bien Fengta took the jade slip and looked. Then his face changed drastically and he looked at Yi Mo in shock. "You're going to Lost Soul Ruins? You must not go there, you won't be able to get back out if you go there." Yi Mo looked at Bien Fengta in confusion. "Brother Bien, you've really been there? It's called Lost Soul Ruins? It can't be that dangerous, right?" Bien Fengta said seriously, "That place is very eerie. I haven't been there, but I went past that place. I heard people say there were level 9 spirit herbs there. So I went around to go there." "Heard? How come he'd never heard anyone say that?" Bien Fengta explained, "I survived till now not just because my power is barely below disaster transformation state level 1, but also because I'm careful. I never look for trouble in the Heartless Sea. I won't even touch low-level spirit beasts. In fact, not all the beast cultivators in Heartless Sea are murderous. Some pursue cultivation just like human cultivators. I know about Lost Soul Ruins because I met a cauldron-filling state peak stage beast cultivator. He told me a lot of things I didn't know about the Heartless Sea. He even told me about the Lost Soul Ruins. He told me there are large amounts of level 9 spirit herbs and even level 10 spirit herbs." Yi Mo was shook. A level 10 spirit herb was an immortal herb. How could it appear in the cultivation realm? Bien Fengta continued, "That beast cultivator is called Tengyi. We got along well and became good friends. Because I was a level 3 pill king and helped him concoct many pills, he took me to Lost Soul Ruins, but we didn't go in. From afar, I felt this ominous feeling. The entire Lost Soul Ruins is covered in a grey mist. Spirit sense can't scan in at all. Tengyi told me that regardless of whether they were human or beast cultivator, those who went in never came back. Those rare few who came back lost their soul and were just walking bodies." Yi Mo heard this and his heart sunk. Either Meng Hanan tricked him or she was only at the outskirts of the place. Immortal Curl Flower was the only thing that could save Jiling. If Yi Mo didn't try, he wouldn't be able to forgive himself. "Brother Yi, are you still going to go?" Bien Fengta looked expectantly at Yi Mo. If Yi Mo wasn't going, they could go back to South Peace State together. Yi Mo nodded slowly. "Since I came, I must go see. If there's really no way, I won't have any regrets." If it was certain death, Yi Mo wouldn't go in, but he had to try first. Hearing this, Bien Fengta fell silent for a while before saying, "In that case, I will go with Brother Yi." Yi Mo looked at Bien Fengta in confusion. They had only met for the first time. He didn't have that much charisma, right? Bien Fengta saw this and smiled. "Brother Yi is only body condensation state level 7 and you didn't get injured fighting with a disaster transformation state cultivator. Plus Brother Yi's lightning sword is some powerful magic I've never seen before. I believe Brother Yi isn't an ordinary person in South Peace State. My cultivation level is higher than Brother Yi, but it's only a matter of time for Brother Yi to surpass me. I don't know anyone in South Peace State, so I might as well go with Brother Yi. Plus I've been walking in the Heartless Sea for decades. I won't mind staying here an extra year or two." To be honest, I really admire Brother Yi and want to be friends. Would you think I'm being too sudden? Yimo finally realized why Bien Fengta was able to come here despite being cauldron-filling state and became friends with a beast cultivator. He had keen eyes and spoke comfortable words. He was quite a clean and honest person. Yimo didn't need to hide things anymore. He also felt Bien Fengta was a worthy person to connect with. His 3 birth chance instincts were very good and he usually wouldn't see wrong. He said to Bien Fengta, "Of course I would love being friends with Brother Bien, but other than finding the immortal Curl Flower at Lost Soul Ruins, I still need to go North Far State. So regardless of whether I can get it, I won't be able to go to South Peace State with Brother Bien. But don't worry about not having a place to go in South Peace State, just like you said, I have a little fame in South Peace State. I have my own city. If you don't mind you can go to Mo Yu City." "What? You want to travel the Heartless Sea and go to North Far State?" Bien Fengta looked at Yimo in shock. Yimo nodded seriously. "That's right." Bien Fengta heard this and fell silent for a long while before exclaiming, "Brother Yi, you're the most brave cultivator I've seen to dare cross the Heartless Sea at body condensation state power, and leave the dense spirit Kai of South Peace State to go to North Far State. I know you have a reason that you must go, but no matter what I greatly admire you, so I will still take you to Lost Soul Ruins and wait a month for you." Bien Fengta trusted his eyes. Yimo was no ordinary cultivator and it was worth it to spend a few years to connect with him. Yimo knew what he meant. If he didn't come out, Bien Fengta would take this news to South Peace State, but Yimo saluted with his fists. "Thank you Brother Bien, but you only need to point me the way. There's no need to send me over and wait a month." Bien Fengta said genuinely, "Brother Yi, if you approve of me then let me go with you. Although I can't go with North Far State with you, it's my honor to meet someone like you." Yimo smiled. "In that case all right. I'm smaller than you, just call me Yimo." Bien Fengta was willing to spend a few years to take him there. This friend was worth making. Bien Fengta said with joy, "Okay then, Yimo, just call me Ta, that's what my martial siblings called me in my sect." Yimo said, "Okay, Ta, seeing that you're cauldron filling state level 8, you must be from a big sect in East Black State, right?" Bien Fengta's eyes flashed with some sadness and nodded, "Yes, I was from the Hidden Sword Sect." 8-star sect. Hidden Sword Sect? Yimo asked in shock. "You know East Black State's Hidden Sword Sect?" Bien Fengta looked at Yimo in confusion. Yimo nodded. "Yes, I heard my wife say that it's one of only 3 8-star sects in East Black State. Luo Ying told him this when they were in Magical Herb Sect." Yimo asked again, "Ta, do you know a small 4-star sect called Magical Herb Sect in East Black State?" Bien Fengta nodded. "It seems you know a lot. Even such little sects, I only learned of it after I left. It's said that sect is very low-key and their low-grade pills are good. I don't know anything else." Yimo felt sad. He believed that when Bien Fengta left, Magical Herb Sect hadn't been attacked yet. Chapter 1204, Body Condensation State Peak Stage. Chapter 1204, Body Condensation State Peak Stage. But Yimo immediately cast this aside. Magical Herb Sect was no more, but he and Luo Ying were still together. He already killed the Yimo of West Flow Sect Jing Yujian in the Truthful Palace. As for Jing Kuan, he could kill him anytime he went to East Black State. Hidden Sword Sect is already an 8-star sect of East Black State. Why did you leave? Yimo collected his feelings and asked. Bien Fengta said quietly, "This is the past, but I still haven't been able to let it go. My father is the sect leader Bien Xiangxin. There were 3 prodigies in the sect, I was one of them. Other than me, there was my fiancé Qi Yirong and my martial brother Yaroshan. I was young and my father was the sect leader, so I wasn't focused on cultivation. I often went to play with Yirong. Due to that, when I was still nascent soul state middle stage, my martial brother Yaroshan was hollow spirit state. My fiancé also reached hollow spirit state. I didn't mind it that much, but she gradually distanced me and stayed with my martial brother Yaroshan. Only then was I vigilant." Yimo frowned and didn't say anything. Bien Fengta saw this and smiled bitterly. "I was going to work hard to catch up, but at this moment, my martial brother Yaroshan proposed to my fiancé. Qi Yirong was my fiancé and this was public, yet my father agreed. I really didn't understand and I went to reason with my father, but my father sneered at my saying that I didn't deserve Irong. When I went to find her, I found her talking intimately with martial brother Yaroshan. I was very sad, so I left the sect and had been cultivating in the nearby Heartless Sea and became a level 3 pill king with my own efforts. When I reached cauldron filling state level 7, I found that East Black State wouldn't allow me to reach higher levels, so I wanted to cross the Heartless Sea to South Peace State. Although Yimo didn't agree with what he did, he patted Bien Fengta's shoulder and said, "A real man doesn't need to worry about not getting a wife, there's no loss in losing a slut." Then, Yimo released Blue Moon and said, "Come up, let's go to Lost Soul Ruins." Extreme grade flying cultivation artifact? Bien Fengta asked in shock. He was a cauldron filling state level 8 cultivator and knew how valuable an extreme grade cultivation artifact was, much less a flying one. Yimo nodded and smiled. "So it won't take a year for you to lead me to Lost Soul Ruins. If we fly at full speed, it will be about half a year." Bien Fengta sighed. With an extreme grade flying cultivation artifact, it won't take a few years to reach North Far State. Yimo said, "Ta, on the way I need to cultivate, can you help me control Blue Moon?" Bien Fengta immediately said, "That's fine, go cultivate and leave it to me. I've never felt the speed of an extreme grade flying cultivation artifact." Yimo needed to improve his power desperately. He didn't even have the right to talk in front of Yonglani. If he was disaster transformation state, he could run immediately. Yimo left Bien Fengta a communication bead and then went inside Blue Moon, setting up a formation before going into the Golden Page world. He was sure Bien Fengta wouldn't scan him with spirit sense, but Golden Page world mattered too much. Yimo had 2 extreme grade spirit ranges now. When he prepared Dew Condensation Pill and Time Formation Discs, Yimo set up another spirit gathering formation to increase the speed of devouring spirit Kai. As he used the 3 birth chant, the spirit Kai around him rumbled and formed a white mist above the extreme grade spirit range. Yimo was enveloped by this mist until he couldn't be seen. Even Shadowless sleeping next to Bitter Bamboo was woken up by this, but he just glanced once and went back to sleep. A year later, Yimo reached body condensation state level 8 and 2 years later he reached body condensation state level 9. In the 4th year, he reached body condensation state level 9 peak stage and then he stopped. With this, his notion of domain was clearer. If he fought with that disaster transformation state cultivator now, he was confident he could make him suffer a little. 4 years in the time formation disc meant only 4 months outside. The time formation disc was indeed a powerful thing, but when he looked at that extreme grade spirit range, he was speechless. A third of the spirit range was gone. The amount of spirit Kai he and the time formation disc needed was terrifying. If he didn't find more, these 2 wouldn't be enough to support him to cauldron filling state peak stage. Yimo removed the time formation disc and scanned his spirit sense out. He found that Ta was concocting pills at the head. Yimo also took out his Shin Gnome cauldron. Yimo was going to concoct Kuan filling pill. He only had 1 set of ingredients, but he didn't mind. He believed he wouldn't fail with his current skills. 45 minutes later, Yimo pulled out 6 pills, 3 top grade and 3 extreme grade. With this, Yimo continued to concoct a few more cauldrons of cauldron essence pills. This pill could help cauldron filling state cultivatora recover cultivation essence and be used for cauldron filling state cultivation. Just when Yimo was finished and going to tell Bien Fengta he was going to find a place to break through to cauldron filling state, he saw Bien Fengta put away the cauldron and suddenly control Blue Moon to go another direction. Yimo immediately came out of the Golden Page world and asked, Ta, what's wrong?" But Yimo knew he didn't need to ask. He saw 2 cultivators fighting on an island ahead. Both were beast cultivators. "Yimo, you're done? One of them is my friend, Teng Yi, who I told you about. I need to see if he needs help," Bien Fengta said. But then he looked at Yimo in shock. Your body condensation state peak stage? How? How is this possible? No matter how prodigious the genius, how good the spirit root, how good the cultivation environment, one couldn't reach body condensation state peak stage from body condensation state level 7 in 4 months. Yimo smiled. "Yes, I need to find a place for divine damnation to reach cauldron filling state, otherwise it's not too safe to go into the Lost Soul ruins with a low cultivation level. Bien Fengta took a cold breath in. He just stared at Yi Mo in astonishment. After a long while, he sighed, I'm sure you're the #1 prodigy of Luo Yu continent. I was suspecting if you were 100 years old yet, but now I'm sure you're not even 50. I've never seen a cultivator with cultivation speed like you. This is the first and last. Before Yi Mo could reply, that beast cultivator saw Bien Fengta and called, Ta, why are you still here? Didn't you go South Peace State? Then he clashed with that beast cultivator again and rocks splashed everywhere. That beast cultivator saw Teng Yi's friend come and didn't keep attacking Teng Yi but looked at Yi Mo and Bien Fengta with vigilance. Bien Fengta heard this and quickly said, I was going to go South Peace State but I came back on the way and now I see you fighting with someone so I came to see. That beast cultivator said coldly, since your friend is here, then we can fight next time. I'm going. Teng Yi sneered, I only fight alone, even if my friend is here he won't help. If you're scared don't find a bullshit excuse. That beast cultivator ignored Teng Yi and flew away on a flying cultivation artifact. Teng Yi didn't chase and walked over to Bien Fengta and noticed Blue Moon. His eyes lit up and said, Ta, when did you get an extreme grade flying cultivation artifact? Chapter 1205, Two Friends. Chapter 1205, Two Friends. Bien Fengta shook his head and pointed at Yi Mo Teng. This flying magic artifact isn't mine, it's brother Yi Mo's. He's a friend I just met, he's going to Lost Soul ruins so I'm going to take him there. Teng Yi Long had noticed Yi Mo before, but he was just body condensation state peak stage so he didn't mind him. Now that Bien Fengta said this, he immediately looked at Bien Fengta in confusion. Ta, you didn't tell him about the situation there? Before Bien Fengta replied, Yi Mo walked up and saluted with his fists. I know the situation there but I have something very important that I must go for. Teng Yi was dazed and raised his thumb at Yi Mo. Okay, you have courage. You're Ta's friend so you're my friend too, just call me Teng like Ta. Yi Mo could tell that Teng Yi was a straightforward person yet Bien Fengta was a softer person. Nonetheless, he could still connect with someone like Teng Yi, he was no simple person either. I'm Yi Mo, I'll call you Tung from now on then. Yi Mo also liked Teng Yi's straightforward personality. He wanted to ask Teng Yi if he had eaten the transformation pill and took human form or if he reached this after divine damnation. But Yi Mo knew that question would be a bit sudden. Okay, in that case I'll come with you guys, but brother Yi, I think it's best to just look outside and not go inside, Teng Yi said. Yi Mo nodded. Brother Teng is right, if I really can't go in I won't be impulsive. Not bad, not bad. Teng Yi laughed. Let's go now, I didn't get to fight a good fight today, it's not bad going to Lost Soul ruins for a spin. But Yi Mo said, we can't go now, I need to have my divine damnation first. I believe it will be safer after I reach cauldron filling state. Bien Fengta quickly said, Yi Mo you just reached body condensation state peak stage, it's not good to go into divine damnation immediately. I spent nearly 20 years after reaching body condensation state peak stage before I dared to have my divine damnation. Cauldron filling state divine damnation is completely different than body condensation state divine damnation. One mistake and you might die. Teng Yi stared at Yi Mo with wide open eyes. You just reached body condensation state peak stage and you want to take cauldron filling state divine damnation? From his tone, Yi Mo could tell this was same as suicide. Before Yi Mo could reply, Bien Fengta said again, you also need Kuan filling pill, otherwise the divine damnation will be. He then said, you went from body condensation state level 7 to peak stage in 4 months, this speed is fast but you lack foundation. Without foundation, you would be affected by heart demons. What? Teng Yi was completely shocked. Beast cultivators cultivated very fast but there was no one as terrifying as Yi Mo. Was this a joke? You went from body condensation state level 7 to peak stage in 4 months. Teng Yi opened his eyes even wider. Bien Fengta replied for Yi Mo, that's right Teng, I met Yi Mo 4 months ago. I was being chased by a bastard disaster transformation state but brother Yi helped me. At that time he was body condensation state level 7 and now it's only been 4 months. I've seen it with my own eyes. Yi Mo was speechless. He couldn't say he has been cultivating for 4 years inside a time formation disk, so he smiled. I'm also a pill master and I can concoct some supplementary pills. I have a spirit marrow pond, so I cultivate rather fast. Even with that you can't reach body condensation state peak stage from level 7 in 4 months, Teng Yi said in disbelief. Bien Fengta nodded but suddenly looked at Yi Mo with more shock. You can concoct body condensation state pills. Are you a level 5 pill king? Or a level 6 pill king? Lower grade body condensation state pills needed to be made by a level 5 pill king, higher ones needs to be made by a level 6 pill king. Yi Mo didn't hide it and nodded. I'm a level 7 pill king. I made my own Kuan filling pills. Then Yi Mo took out a bottle of Kuan filling pills to show Bien Fengta. These are the Kuan filling pills I concocted. Bien Fengta took this shakily and put it in his hands. He perused it before murmuring, they're indeed heaven grade level 7 pills, they are definitely freshly concocted and are spirit range pills. To be able to concoct heaven grade level 7 pills into special grade pills, Yi Mo could clearly reach pill king level 8 at any time. Bien Fengta looked dazedly at Yi Mo. Brother Yi, you're almost a level 8 pill king? Yi Mo nodded. Yes, I'm not one yet, but I feel it won't be long before I become one. Yi Mo said this because he collected some level 8 spirit herbs from Chu 18 discs and these would be enough for him to reach level 8 pill king. Huh, Teng Yi exclaimed. Yi Mo, you're really level 7 pill king about to reach level 7? That's right, I'm indeed a level 7 pill king, but there's still some distance from level 8. Yi Mo looked at Teng Yi in shock. At most he would ask him to concoct some pills. Did he need to be this excited? Great brother Yi, please help me. You must help me. Teng Yi grabbed Yi Mo's hand and his tone was shaky. Yi Mo just wanted to say it was fine and Bien Fengta also calmed down. He walked up to Yi Mo and said, Teng's father is Heartless Sea's Rain Dragon King Teng Xiong. His mother's Dan Tian was shattered when she was attacked by an enemy, her spirit sense is also damaged. Teng heard that heaven grade level 8 pill illusion god pill can recover spirit sense, so he collected a few illusion god flowers wanting to find someone to concoct it into pills. Yes, I want to ask you to help me concoct the illusion god pill. I have illusion god flowers. Teng Yi took out a few illusion god flowers. Yi Mo knew this herb, he had one from Lu Wu. He knew that it could repair spirit sense, but its main function wasn't for that, it was for repairing souls. This pill wasn't enough to remedy his mother's situation. Yi Mo said, Teng, illusion god flower can repair spirit sense, but its main use isn't for this. Even if I concoct this pill, your mother won't be able to recover completely. If you trust me, Teng Yi said desperately, I know. I just want to recover her spirit sense first. Then she will be able to protect herself. I can then search for the herbs to repair Dan Tian. Yi Mo waved his hand. Teng, let me finish. I meant that you don't need illusion god pill. If you trust me, I can visit your mother. If it's really as you said, I have some confidence in curing her. Yi Mo had the season wheat pill to recover Dan Tian and spirit recovery pill for spirit sense. Spirit recovery pill had no side effect, but season wheat wasn't able to do everything. He wouldn't mind helping Teng since he was a straightforward person and a good son. Hearing this, Teng Yi was overjoyed and knelt down in front of Yi Mo. Brother Yi, you must save my mother. My mother is too pitiful, she can't go anywhere. My life goal is to cure my mother. Yi Mo quickly pulled him up. Teng, don't worry. Since we're all friends, I won't watch your mother suffer. After I finish my divine damnation, we can go to your home. Huh, you're really going to do divine damnation? Teng Yi looked at Yi Mo worriedly. Yi Mo patted his shoulder. Teng, you and Ertar protect me from the side. Cauldron filling state divine damnation is nothing for me. Seeing this, Teng Yi could only take out a big scale and give it to Yi Mo. This is my defense magic artifact. You can use it for divine damnation. Yi Mo gave it back to him. I don't need a defense magic artifact for divine damnation, you just need to watch out for outsiders for me. Chapter 1206, Strange Cauldron Filling State Divine Damnation. Chapter 1206, Strange Cauldron Filling State Divine Damnation. The two retreated to the side and Yi Mo took out all of his top-grade spirit stones and spirit crystals and formed a spirit gathering formation. He ate a Kuan filling pill and used the 3-birth chant to charge towards the cauldron filling state barrier. After he set up the spirit gathering formation, the spirit Kai around immediately rushed over like crazy and this barren island formed a spirit mist. Teng Yi and Bien Fengta couldn't tell what level formation this was, but this terrifying power was clearly no simple formation. But they didn't dare to think it was a level 7 spirit gathering formation. At most Yi Mo was a level 6 formation great master. Yi Mo used this many spirit crystal and spirit stones. He didn't need to set up a level 9 spirit gathering formation. Level 7 was enough for him. Level 9 was a waste of materials. He didn't have a lot of level 9 formation materials. They all came from Yu Chichao. Seeing the huge spirit Kai whirlpool form above Yi Mo's head, Teng Yi murmured, Ta, now I believe you that this brother Yi reached body condensation state peak stage from level 7 in 4 months. I've never seen anyone this powerful at devouring spirit Kai. Even the greatest prodigy amongst beast cultivators can't compare with Yi Mo. Bien Fengta wanted to reply, but he saw the sky darken quickly and held back his words. He didn't expect the divine damnation to come this quickly. He thought it would take at least 3 days. Rumble when more than 30 grown man arm-sized lightning arcs fell down, both of them were dumbfounded. Usually, beast cultivators' divine damnation was stronger than human cultivators' divine damnation, but even so, Teng Yi had never seen divine damnation this terrifying. The size of theirs was the size of disaster transformation state into truth realization state divine damnation. Even that wouldn't rain down 36 lightning arcs at once. How was this divine damnation? This clearly wanted Yi Mo dead on the first wave. It's over. They knew that Yi Mo didn't even have a defense magic artifact. But what the two didn't expect happened. Yi Mo didn't care about the lightning arcs landing on him. He even released lightning arcs to counterattack. But the lightning arcs he released were black while the ones from the divine damnation were blue. Thud thud after the 36 lightning arcs were crippled by Yi Mo, 10s more rained down. They were getting thicker and denser. Instantly, Teng Yi and Bien Fengta could only see Yi Mo's black lightning clash with the divine damnation blue lightning making terrifying sounds in the air. The two looked at each other in shock. Just what sort of monster was this new friend they made? Even disaster transformation state cultivators might not be able to survive such lightning arcs. They hadn't seen truth realization state immortal ascension divine damnation, but it wouldn't be more terrifying than this. What sort of divine damnation was this? Divine damnation usually came in waves and there were pauses in between, but there was no pause in Yi Mo's divine damnation. It was as though this divine damnation wouldn't stop until it killed Yi Mo, while Yi Mo wasn't going to give up until he enraged the divine damnation. If they went up to this divine damnation, they would die for sure. They finally realized why Yi Mo knew formations but only set up a spirit gathering formation and didn't set up defense formation. Ordinary level 6 defense formations were useless under such divine damnation. At the start, Yi Mo was counting how many lightning arcs came down, but as more and more came, Yi Mo used almost all his attention to refine lightning source. He wasn't interested in counting the lightning arcs, he just hoped there would be more and more lightning arcs so his cultivation level would increase rapidly. The moment his extreme grade spirit artifact armor was broken, Yi Mo changed to another one. He had many of them and didn't care about it. If it wasn't that Teng Yi and Bien Fengta were watching on the side, he wouldn't even be bothered changing armor. There was a crack. It was a quiet sound amidst the roaring divine damnation, but Yi Mo heard it clearly. He knew he reached cauldron filling state and at the same time, his power increased drastically. Instantly, Yi Mo devoured the almost solid spirit Kai around him. He reached cauldron filling state level 1 peak. Another 9 lightning arcs that were thicker than bottles rained down. Yi Mo felt very satisfied and was expecting more, but the divine damnation clouds started to dissipate. The divine damnation was over. It disappeared so suddenly. Yi Mo looked dazedly at this and frowned. He felt there weren't even as many lightning arcs as his body condensation state divine damnation. He was very confused, but he didn't know what was going on. It was as though the divine damnation knew he wanted to use the lightning arcs to break through and retreated at the most crucial moment. Yi Mo was angered and shot a few lightning arcs into the sky, but no matter how he challenged the divine damnation, it was over. Then, A large blue spirit cloud fell above his head. Yimo felt that the spirit Kai inside was purer than the spirit Kai inside his spirit-gathering formation and finally felt a little better. He didn't let go of any and devoured all of the spirit cloud. With this, Yimo's power reached cauldron-filling state level 2. Yimo felt this level of power and exhaled comfortably. He used a few clear water spells to wash his body and changed into a new set of clothes. Then, he started collecting the spirit stones and spirit crystals he didn't use. At this moment, Teng Yi and Bianfeng Ta finally woke up. Was this divine damnation? It was more like divine annihilation, but the two saw immediately that Yimo was cauldron-filling state level 2 and were even more speechless. They'd seen too many impossibilities from Yimo today. Yimo finished collecting his things and two figures landed on the island. Human cultivator. A seductive-looking woman appeared along with a handsome middle-aged man. She then stared at Yimo and asked, "What was the commotion here?" The man said plainly, "Sister Yi, why even talk to this human cultivator? Just kill him." The two could tell they were beast cultivators and both cauldron-filling state peak stage. Yimo wanted to answer their question, but the two wanted to kill him straight away. His eyes went cold immediately. Before Yimo spoke, Teng Yi came up and stopped the two, saying coldly, "Yimo is my friend, you two have no right to point fingers." "Teng Yi, you dare to conspire with human cultivators?" that handsome man asked coldly. Teng Yi replied, "I conspire with human cultivators? I want to do this, what can you do? If you have the balls, go tell father that. Father has his own human friends, much less me. Piss off, this place doesn't welcome you." "You," that handsome man pointed his finger at Teng Yi, but he couldn't do anything. That woman scanned her eyes at Teng Yi and said seductively, "Teng Yi, I'm your sister-in-law, how can you treat us like this? I'm just asking what happened here. This is the outskirts of my Dragon Teng Palace. Can't I ask?" "Ha ha." Teng Yi laughed and pointed at the woman. "Hu Yi, don't be shameless. You're my sister-in-law." "Which one? A long time ago you seemed to be my second brother's woman, now you're with my sixth brother? PSH. Chmph." The woman sneered and turned to leave. The handsome man glared at Teng Yi and also left. Teng Yi acted as though nothing happened and raised his thumb. "Brother Yi, it's my luck to be able to meet someone like you. To be honest, this is the first time I've seen a guy take divine damnation like you, amazing." Chapter 1207, Dragon Teng King. Chapter 1207, Dragon Teng King. Yimo looked at Teng Yi in embarrassment. "Teng, I want to ask you something. Do beast cultivators use the same cultivation level system after you transform into humans?" The beast cultivators Yimo has been in contact with were ones that didn't take human form yet. It was all what level spirit beast was equal to what cultivation state. So when Bianfeng Ta said cauldron-filling state beast cultivator, he wanted to ask if it was the same as level 9 beast cultivator. Teng Yi heard this and laughed. He patted Yimo's shoulder. "Brother Yi, don't tell me you think I'm a transformed spirit beast, right?" He explained without waiting for Yimo's reply. "I was born like this actually. I look like human cultivators, but I cultivate with a beast cultivator cultivation method. Only those pure spirit beast would be graded based on level. But once a spirit beast takes human form, it would be the same as human cultivators. The human form spirit beast's offsprings don't have their original form. If I want to use my dragon form, I need to reach at least truth realization state." Yimo realized that spirit beast were beast cultivators, but not all beast cultivators were spirit beasts. "Brother Yi, are you going to Lost Soul Ruins first or?" Teng Yi looked worriedly at Yimo. He saw how terrifying Yimo's divine damnation was, but no matter how powerful Yimo was, he wasn't sure if he would make it out of the Lost Soul Ruins. Yimo patted his shoulder. "Of course I'm going to treat your mother first. I can go to the Lost Soul Ruins alone." "No. You helped my mother, so I must go to the Lost Soul Ruins with you. I'm not someone to leave friends behind in danger," Teng Yi said firmly. Bianfeng Ta also said, "Yeah, I will go with Yimo too. I've decided, I won't go to South Peace State, I'll go with Brother Yi to North Far State. It's my honor to follow a level 7 pill king." "You're going to North Far State?" Tang Yi looked at Yi Mo in shock. Yi Mo nodded. Yes, if I can get out of Lost Soul Ruins, I'm going to North Far State. Tang Yi suddenly said loudly, Brother Yi, as long as my mother is well I will go with you to North Far State. Yi Mo thought and nodded. Then let's go see your mother first. After chatting with Tang Yi, he realized how much of a background Tang Yi had. His ancestor was a 5-clawed golden dragon's descendant. When they came to the Heartless Sea, their bloodline recessed, and by Tang Yi's grandpa's time, it was just Rain Dragon bloodline. Even so, Tang Yi's father Teng Xiong still dominated the local sea region, turning it into the reign of the Dragon Teng Palace. Teng Xiong was the famous Dragon Teng King. Teng Yi's mother was one of tens of Teng Xiong's concubines. After Teng Yi's mother was injured, Teng Xiong even forgot he had such a concubine. If Teng Yi didn't help his mother find a cure, his mother could only wait for death. The man and that seductive woman were Teng Yi's 6th brother Teng Xiong and 2nd sister-in-law Hu Yi. The reason Teng Xiong dared to be with Hu Yi was because 2nd brother Teng Jie left Dragon Teng Palace more than 100 years ago. After coming here to the Dragon Teng Palace, Yi Mo realized that the seemingly large Ling Island was nothing compared to this. The spirit Kai was also much denser. Yi Mo just wasn't used to all the spirit beasts here. There were more spirit beasts than human form beast cultivators. Luckily, after entering the island, it was pretty much all human form beast cultivators. Yi Mo was worried about being questioned, but when he walked into a distant cultivation home he realized that Teng Xiong wasn't going to care about Teng Yi bringing someone back. Teng Yi's mother's status wasn't high, but she was Teng Xiong's concubine after all. So despite the cultivation home being distant, the spirit Kai wasn't bad. It was clearly well decorated and a few good-looking maids stood at the door. When they saw Teng Yi come back, they called out, "Young master," respectfully. Teng Yi led Yi Mo and Bien Fengta into the cultivation home. He was desperate about his mother's well-being. Yi Mo immediately saw an emaciated-looking woman laying on the blue jade bed. She looked in middle-aged and seemed very pretty. She was asleep and her cultivation essence was scattered. Her spirit sense waves were also very messy. Yi Mo could already see this woman's dantian was shattered and her spirit sense was injured. "How is it? Can my mother be cured?" Teng Yi asked desperately. Yi Mo nodded and took out 2 pills. "Yes, give these 2 pills to your mother and 4 hours later you will see the effect. If she wasn't injured for so long, only 15 minutes would be enough." Yi Mo grabbed the pills from Yi Mo excitedly and even forgot to thank Yi Mo. He hurriedly fed them to his mother. Yi Mo and Bien Fengta didn't disturb Teng Yi. The two were led to the room next door by a maid. "Yi Mo, is your pill really useful?" "I think Teng is very," Bien Fengta asked worriedly. Yi Mo knew that Bien Fengta was worried how disappointed Teng Yi would be if the pill was useless. He smiled and said, "Don't worry. That pill is definitely useful." Bien Fengta nodded and said, "I really didn't expect you were a level 7 pill king. I've worked so hard to become a level 3 pill king today and I thought that was quite substantial, but compared to you, I realize I'm nothing." "Yi Mo, are there a lot of prodigies in the South Peace State like you?" Yi Mo smiled. "My pill concoction heritage is special. There are not a lot of level 7 pill kings in South Peace State. It's already quite good you're a level 3 pill king." Bien Fengta smiled. "I know you're comforting me, but I still feel a lot better. But now that I'm with you I don't need to concoct pills myself, plus the pills I concoct aren't high level enough." Yi Mo heard and said, "Ta, I don't mind you coming with me to North Far State, but don't go to Lost Soul Ruins. You and Teng wait for me here, we'll go North Far State together after I come out." Bien Fengta immediately got up and said, "Yi Mo, do you think I'm someone who's scared of death? I'm going with you to North Far State because we're friends and I need your pills for cultivation. If I just take the benefits and back out in danger, I don't deserve to be your friend." "I believe Teng thinks the same." "Yes, Ta, I agree." Teng Yi's voice sounded at the door. Another emaciated woman appeared next to Teng Yi. "Teng, is your mother well now?" Bien Fengta asked in shock. Teng Yi nodded excitedly and bowed to Yi Mo. "Brother Yi, you're my life and death brother now. You saved my mother, thank you." The woman also thanked him. "Thank you for saving my life, it was his luck that Teng can be friends with you." Yimo realized that Teng's mother was disaster transformation state tertiary stage, and if she recovered, she might even be able to reach truth realization state. Mother, I'm going with Brother Yi to Lost Soul Ruins, then we're going out on an adventure together. I won't be back here often, Ting Yi said. The woman nodded. A man's desire should be in the greater world. You won't achieve much if you fear going ahead. Go, I'm well now, don't worry. Yimo heard this and admired this emaciated woman. Usually, women spoiled their children. Yet his mother didn't even ask anything about Teng Yi going to Lost Soul Ruins. She had an open mind. Teng Yi smiled. Brother Yi, I wanted to set up a celebration for this, but I know you're in a rush. Let's go now? As soon as they left Teng Yi's mother's cultivation home, a few people came up. When he saw the leading bearded cultivator, Yimo was shook. It was another truth realization state peak stage cultivator, and his power seemed stronger than Yong Lanyi. What shook Yimo even more was that the cultivators next to the man were all truth realization state cultivators. Chapter 1208. Plot against me? Truth realization state isn't enough. Chapter 1208. Plot against me? Truth realization state isn't enough, father. Teng Yi saw the bearded man and called respectfully. The bearded cultivator looked at Teng Yi and then Yimo and Bien Fengta. When he saw Yimo, his face showed some shock, but he immediately frowned and didn't say anything. But his glance reached Teng Yi's mother and he said in disbelief, Jian, you've recovered? Teng Yi's mother quickly went up and said softly, yes, Yi invited his friend and brought me 2 pills, I recovered from that. Yimo realized this man was Teng Xiong. Teng Xiong heard this and looked at Teng Yi approvingly. You did very well. Then he looked at Teng Yi's mother. Jian, I've been searching for a Dan Tian recovery pill, but I haven't been able to find it. It's so great that you recovered. Thank you, Teng Yi's mother said gratefully. Teng Yi looked down and raised his lips in contempt. Ever since mother was injured, his father only came to visit her a few times. Your 2 friends have such pills? Teng Xiong then set his eyes on Yimo and Bien Fengta. Clearly, he cared more about the pills that could recover Dan Tian. Teng Yi was afraid Yimo and Bien Fengta would offend his father, so he replied first, yes father, my friend is a level 7 pill king, so mother's condition is no problem for him. Yimo cursed, but he couldn't send a sound transmission to Teng Yi as this truth realization state peak stage would easily intercept it. It was fine that Teng Yi knew his identity, but Yimo knew what sort of person Teng Xiong was just from this short interaction. His wife had just recovered, but instead he was caring about the pill. Clearly, he was an extremely selfish person. There was no way someone like him would let him go after knowing he was level 7 pill king. Hearing this, Teng Xiong stared at Yimo in disbelief. You're a level 7 pill king? How is that possible? The Kai from your body shows you're younger than 100 years. He paused and said, but you could reach cauldron filling state at such an age, clearly you're no ordinary person. What's your name? Did you come from the 3 Seas or South Peace state? Yimo knew there was nothing to do other than admit now, so he saluted with his fists. WN Bei greets King Teng. Although I'm a level 7 pill king, my success rate isn't very high. I'm barely a level 7 pill king. The pill I used to save Teng Yi's mother was left behind by my master. Great, very well. Teng Xiong then said to Teng Yi, Teng, bring your friend to the main palace. I've invited a few friends over today, you can come with your friends. He didn't care at all that Yimo didn't tell him where he came from. Meanwhile, Teng Yi was still bewildered why Brother Yi said he was barely level 7 pill king when he told him he was almost level 8 pill king. Yimo quickly said, Teng said he would take me to Lost Soul Ruins and see. He said that it's very eerie there, I want to go see. You want to go Lost Soul Ruins? Teng Xiong looked at Yimo with surprise. Teng Yi knew what Yimo thought. Yimo didn't want to stay here at all and didn't want much contact with his father. Realizing this, Teng Yi quickly said, yes father, Ta and Yimo and I got along very well. I told him Lost Soul Ruins is very scary, but Brother Yi still wants to go see, we're planning to go there. Before Teng Xiong spoke, a beast cultivator who was truth realization state tertiary stage next to him walked up and patted Yimo's shoulder. Not bad, You're this young and cauldron-filling state but also a level 7 pill king. Your future is boundless. Yimo immediately had an uncomfortable feeling. Just when Yimo didn't know how to reply, another truth realization state middle stage smiled. Brother Lan, your granddaughter is extremely beautiful. Since you like this kid so much, why not marry her to him? That cultivator who patted Yimo's shoulder immediately showed a happy smile. That's right, I was thinking that too. Yimo, when you come back, come with me to Yutian Island and see my granddaughter. Yimo subconsciously shivered. A beast cultivator wanted to marry his granddaughter to him. No matter how pretty she was, he didn't dare to have her. What Yimo didn't expect was that Teng Xiong also patted Yimo's shoulder. Go with Teng to Lost Soul Ruins first, you can come back and chat with me later. But just have a look outside, you must not go in. Yimo heard this and immediately said, yes, WN Bei will leave now. Then, Yimo turned back and looked at Teng. He quickly bid his parents farewell and left with Bien Fengta. As soon as Yimo left the island, he let out Blue Moon and took the two dashing away in a blue ray. On the way, no one talked. When they left the palace more than a few 100,000 kilometers behind them, Yimo finally breathed easy. Seeing this, Teng Yi asked, Yimo, are you very desperate to leave? My father doesn't like me that much, but he won't trouble my friends. Bien Fengta saw things clearer and sneered. Teng, your father won't trouble him, but don't you think your father and his friends are a bit too nice to Yimo? Teng Yi realized and nodded. Now that you say it, I've never seen my father be so nice to my friends, he's never even been that nice to me. So strange. It's not strange at all, because Yimo's level 7 pill king, Bien Fengta said. Teng Yi woke up now and looked dazedly at the two. You're saying that because Yimo is a level 7 pill king, my father won't let him leave the palace? Yimo said, if your father didn't come with his friends together, I wouldn't be able to leave today. Your father wants to keep me not only because I'm a level 7 pill king, but also my cultivation speed is so fast. Yimo felt scared. If he was kept by Teng Xiong, his secrets would all be exposed, even the Golden Page world. Teng Yi was dazed and realized the two were saying the truth. He felt guilty. Sorry Yimo, you saved my mother and I almost led you to doom. Teng Yi knew if his father imprisoned Yimo he wouldn't be able to save him, and if he angered his father, he wouldn't be well off either. Teng Yi panted. Well, good that we're safe now, how about let's not go to Lost Soul Ruins? Yimo has an extreme grade flying cultivation artifact. Even if my father is truth realization state peak stage, he won't be able to catch up to us. Yimo said calmly, even if we leave half a month early, your father will be able to catch up to us. So can that guy from Qitian Island? Bien Fengta immediately realized what Yimo meant. You're saying they marked you with a spirit sense mark? Yimo nodded. Yes, and not just one. The two immediately realized that when they patted Yimo's shoulder, that was when he was marked. How do you know? That's truth realization state spirit sense mark. Bien Fengta asked in confusion. Yimo sighed. Because I've been marked too many times. When I was foundation establishment state, golden core state would mark me. When I was nascent soul state, hollow spirit state would mark me. Now that I'm cauldron filling state, truth realization state would mark me. Low power really means you're an insect. Teng Yi said guiltily to Yimo, sorry, brother Yi, I brought this upon you. But what do we do? Teng Yi knew truth realization state cultivator spirit sense marks were unable to be removed. Yimo smiled and waved his hand. Teng, don't worry, this has nothing to do with you. Plotting against me? Even truth realization state isn't enough. The two retreated to the side and Yimo took out all of his top-grade spirit stones and spirit crystals and formed a spirit gathering formation. He ate a Kuan filling pill and used the 3-birth chant to charge towards the cauldron filling state barrier. The two retreated to the side and Yimo took out all of his top-grade spirit stones and spirit crystals and formed a spirit gathering formation. He ate a Kuan filling pill and used the 3-birth chant to charge towards the cauldron filling state barrier. After he set up the spirit gathering formation, the spirit Kai around immediately rushed over like crazy and this barren island formed a spirit mist. Teng Yi and Bien Fengta couldn't tell what level formation this was, but this terrifying power was clearly no simple formation. But they didn't dare to think it was a level 7 spirit gathering formation. At most Yi Mo was a level 6 formation great master. Yi Mo used this many spirit crystal and spirit stones. He didn't need to set up a level 9 spirit gathering formation. Level 7 was enough for him. Level 9 was a waste of materials. He didn't have a lot of level 9 formation materials. They all came from Yu Chichao. Seeing the huge spirit Kai whirlpool form above Yi Mo's head, Teng Yi murmured, Ta, now I believe you that this brother Yi reached body condensation state peak stage from level 7 in 4 months. I've never seen anyone this powerful at devouring spirit Kai. Even the greatest prodigy amongst beast cultivators can't compare with Yi Mo. Bien Fengta wanted to reply, but he saw the sky darken quickly and held back his words. He didn't expect the divine damnation to come this quickly. He thought it would take at least 3 days. Rumble when more than 30 grown man arm-sized lightning arcs fell down, both of them were dumbfounded. Usually, beast cultivators' divine damnation were stronger than human cultivators' divine damnation, but even so, Teng Yi had never seen divine damnation this terrifying. The size of theirs was the size of disaster transformation state into truth realization state divine damnation. Even that wouldn't rain down 36 lightning arcs at once. How was this divine damnation? This clearly wanted Yi Mo dead on the first wave. It's over. They knew that Yi Mo didn't even have a defense magic artifact. But what the two didn't expect happened. Yi Mo didn't care about the lightning arcs landing on him. He even released lightning arcs to counterattack. But the lightning arcs he released were black while the ones from the divine damnation were blue. Thud thud after the 36 lightning arcs were crippled by Yi Mo, 10s more rained down. They were getting thicker and denser. Instantly, Teng Yi and Bien Fengta could only see Yi Mo's black lightning clash with the divine damnation blue lightning making terrifying sounds in the air. The two looked at each other in shock. Just what sort of monster was this new friend they made? Even disaster transformation state cultivators might not be able to survive such lightning arcs. They hadn't seen truth realization state immortal ascension divine damnation, but it wouldn't be more terrifying than this. What sort of divine damnation was this? Divine damnation usually came in waves and there were pauses in between, but there was no pause in Yi Mo's divine damnation. It was as though this divine damnation wouldn't stop until it killed Yi Mo, while Yi Mo wasn't going to give up until he enraged the divine damnation. If they went up to this divine damnation, they would die for sure. They finally realized why Yi Mo knew formations but only set up a spirit gathering formation and didn't set up defense formation. Ordinary level 6 defense formations were useless under such divine damnation. At the start, Yi Mo was counting how many lightning arcs came down, but as more and more came, Yi Mo used almost all his attention to refine lightning source. He wasn't interested in counting the lightning arcs, he just hoped there would be more and more lightning arcs so his cultivation level would increase rapidly. The moment his extreme grade spirit artifact armor was broken, Yi Mo changed to another one. He had many of them and didn't care about it. If it wasn't that Teng Yi and Bien Fengta were watching on the side, he wouldn't even be bothered changing armor. There was a crack. It was a quiet sound amidst the roaring divine damnation, but Yi Mo heard it clearly. He knew he reached cauldron filling state and at the same time, his power increased drastically. Instantly, Yi Mo devoured the almost solid spirit Kai around him. He reached cauldron filling state level 1 peak. Another 9 lightning arcs that were thicker than bottles rained down. Yi Mo felt very satisfied and was expecting more. But the divine damnation clouds started to dissipate, the divine damnation was over. It disappeared so suddenly. Yi Mo looked dazedly at this and frowned. He felt there weren't even as many lightning arcs as his body condensation state divine damnation. He was very confused, but he didn't know what was going on. It was as though the divine damnation knew he wanted to use the lightning arcs to break through and retreated at the most crucial moment. Yi Mo was angered and shot a few lightning arcs into the sky, but no matter how he challenged the divine damnation, it was over. Then, a large blue spirit cloud fell above his head. Yi Mo felt that the spirit Kai inside was purer than the spirit Kai inside his spirit gathering formation and finally felt a little better. He didn't let go of any and devoured all of the spirit cloud. With this, Yimo's power reached cauldron-filling state level 2. Yimo felt this level of power and exhaled comfortably. He used a few clear water spells to wash his body and changed into a new set of clothes. Then, he started collecting the spirit stones and spirit crystals he didn't use. At this moment, Teng Yi and Bianfeng Ta finally woke up. Was this divine damnation? It was more like divine annihilation, but the two saw immediately that Yimo was cauldron-filling state level 2 and were even more speechless. They'd seen too many impossibilities from Yimo today. Yimo finished collecting his things and two figures landed on the island. Human cultivator. A seductive-looking woman appeared along with a handsome middle-aged man. She then stared at Yimo and asked, "What was the commotion here?" The man said plainly, "Sister Yi, why even talk to this human cultivator? Just kill him." The two could tell they were beast cultivators and both cauldron-filling state peak stage. Yimo wanted to answer their question, but the two wanted to kill him straight away. His eyes went cold immediately. Before Yimo spoke, Teng Yi came up and stopped the two, saying coldly, "Yimo is my friend, you two have no right to point fingers." "Teng Yi, you dare to conspire with human cultivators?" that handsome man asked coldly. Teng Yi replied, "I conspire with human cultivators? I want to do this, what can you do? If you have the balls, go tell father that. Father has his own human friends, much less me. Piss off, this place doesn't welcome you. You." That handsome man pointed his finger at Teng Yi, but he couldn't do anything. That woman scanned her eyes at Teng Yi and said seductively, "Teng Yi, I'm your sister-in-law, how can you treat us like this? I'm just asking what happened here. This is the outskirts of my Dragon Teng Palace. Can't I ask?" "Ha ha." Teng Yi laughed and pointed at the woman. "Hu Yi, don't be shameless. You're my sister-in-law." "Which one? A long time ago you seemed to be my second brother's woman, now you're with my sixth brother. PSH. The woman sneered and turned to leave. The handsome man glared at Teng Yi and also left. Teng Yi acted as though nothing happened and raised his thumb. "Brother Yi, it's my luck to be able to meet someone like you. To be honest, this is the first time I've seen a guy take divine damnation like you, amazing." Yimo looked at Teng Yi in embarrassment. "Teng, I want to ask you something. Do beast cultivators use the same cultivation level system after you transform into humans?" Yimo looked at Teng Yi in embarrassment. "Teng, I want to ask you something. Do beast cultivators use the same cultivation level system after you transform into humans?" The beast cultivators Yimo has been in contact with were ones that didn't take human form yet. It was all what level spirit beast was equal to what cultivation state. So when Bianfeng Ta said cauldron-filling state beast cultivator, he wanted to ask if it was the same as level 9 beast cultivator. Teng Yi heard this and laughed. He patted Yimo's shoulder. "Brother Yi, don't tell me you think I'm a transformed spirit beast, right?" He explained without waiting for Yimo's reply. "I was born like this actually. I look like human cultivators, but I cultivate with a beast cultivator cultivation method. Only those pure spirit beast would be graded based on level. But once a spirit beast takes human form, it would be the same as human cultivators. The human form spirit beast's offsprings don't have their original form. If I want to use my dragon form, I need to reach at least truth realization state." Yimo realized that spirit beast were beast cultivators, but not all beast cultivators were spirit beasts. "Brother Yi, are you going to Lost Soul Ruins first or?" Teng Yi looked worriedly at Yimo. He saw how terrifying Yimo's divine damnation was, but no matter how powerful Yimo was, he wasn't sure if he would make it out of the Lost Soul Ruins. Yimo patted his shoulder. "Of course I'm going to treat your mother first. I can go to the Lost Soul Ruins alone." "No. You helped my mother, so I must go to the Lost Soul Ruins with you. I'm not someone to leave friends behind in danger," Teng Yi said firmly. Bianfeng Ta also said, "Yeah, I will go with Yimo too. I've decided, I won't go to South Peace State, I'll go with Brother Yi to North Far State. It's my honor to follow a level 7 Pill King." "You're going to North Far State?" Teng Yi looked at Yimo in shock. Yimo nodded. "Yes, if I can get out of Lost Soul Ruins, I'm going to North Far State." Teng Yi suddenly said loudly, "Brother Yi, As long as my mother is well, I will go with you to North Far State. Yimo thought and nodded. Then let's go see your mother first. After chatting with Teng Yi, he realized how much of a background Teng Yi had. His ancestor was a 5-clawed golden dragon's descendant. When they came to the Heartless Sea, their bloodline recessed, and by Teng Yi's grandpa's time, it was just Rain Dragon bloodline. Even so, Teng Yi's father Teng Xiong still dominated the local sea region, turning it into the reign of the Dragon Teng Palace. Teng Xiong was the famous Dragon Teng King. Teng Yi's mother was one of tens of Teng Xiong's concubines. After Teng Yi's mother was injured, Teng Xiong even forgot he had such a concubine. If Teng Yi didn't help his mother find a cure, his mother could only wait for death. The man and that seductive woman were Teng Yi's 6th brother Teng Xiong and 2nd sister-in-law Hu Yi. The reason Teng Xiong dared to be with Hu Yi was because 2nd brother Teng Jie left Dragon Teng Palace more than 100 years ago. After coming here to the Dragon Teng Palace, Yimo realized that the seemingly large Ling Island was nothing compared to this. The spirit Kai was also much denser. Yimo just wasn't used to all the spirit beasts here. There were more spirit beasts than human form beast cultivators. Luckily, after entering the island, it was pretty much all human form beast cultivators. Yimo was worried about being questioned, but when he walked into a distant cultivation home, he realized that Teng Xiong wasn't going to care about Teng Yi bringing someone back. Teng Yi's mother's status wasn't high, but she was Teng Xiong's concubine after all. So despite the cultivation home being distant, the spirit Kai wasn't bad. It was clearly well decorated, and a few good-looking maids stood at the door. When they saw Teng Yi come back, they called out, "Young master," respectfully. Teng Yi led Yimo and Bien Fengta into the cultivation home. He was desperate about his mother's well-being. Yimo immediately saw an emaciated-looking woman laying on the blue jade bed. She looked in middle-aged and seemed very pretty. She was asleep and her cultivation essence was scattered. Her spirit sense waves were also very messy. Yimo could already see this woman's dantian was shattered and her spirit sense was injured. "How is it? Can my mother be cured?" Teng Yi asked desperately. Yimo nodded and took out 2 pills. "Yes, give these 2 pills to your mother and 4 hours later you will see the effect. If she wasn't injured for so long, only 15 minutes would be enough." Yimo grabbed the pills from Yimo excitedly and even forgot to thank Yimo. He hurriedly fed them to his mother. Yimo and Bien Fengta didn't disturb Teng Yi. The two were led to the room next door by a maid. "Yimo, is your pill really useful?" "I think Tung is very." Bien Fengta asked worriedly. Yimo knew that Bien Fengta was worried how disappointed Teng Yi would be if the pill was useless. He smiled and said, "Don't worry, that pill is definitely useful." Bien Fengta nodded and said, "I really didn't expect you were a level 7 pill king. I've worked so hard to become a level 3 pill king today and I thought that was quite substantial, but compared to you, I realize I'm nothing." "Yimo, are there a lot of prodigies in the South Peace State like you?" Yimo smiled. "My pill concoction heritage is special. There are not a lot of level 7 pill kings in South Peace State. It's already quite good you're a level 3 pill king." Bien Fengta smiled. "I know you're comforting me, but I still feel a lot better. But now that I'm with you, I don't need to concoct pills myself, plus the pills I concoct aren't high level enough." Yimo heard and said, "Ta, I don't mind you coming with me to North Far State, but don't go to Lost Soul Ruins. You and Tung wait for me here, we'll go North Far State together after I come out." Bien Fengta immediately got up and said, "Yimo, do you think I'm someone who's scared of death? I'm going with you to North Far State because we're friends and I need your pills for cultivation. If I just take the benefits and back out in danger, I don't deserve to be your friend." "I believe Tung thinks the same." "Yes, Ta, I agree." Teng Yi's voice sounded at the door. Another emaciated woman appeared next to Teng Yi. "Teng, is your mother well now?" Bien Fengta asked in shock. Teng Yi nodded excitedly and bowed to Yimo. "Brother Yi, you're my life and death brother now. You saved my mother, thank you." The woman also thanked him. "Thank you for saving my life, it was his luck that Teng can be friends with you." Yimo realized that Teng's mother was disaster transformation state tertiary stage, and if she recovered, she might even be able to reach truth realization state. "Mother, I'm going with Brother Yi to Lost Soul Ruins, then we're going out on an adventure together. I won't be back here often, Ting Yi said. The woman nodded. A man's desire should be in the greater world. You won't achieve much if you fear going ahead. Go, I'm well now, don't worry. Yi Mo heard this and admired this emaciated woman. Usually, women spoiled their children. Yet his mother didn't even ask anything about Teng Yi going to Lost Soul Ruins. She had an open mind. Teng Yi smiled. Brother Yi, I wanted to set up a celebration for this, but I know you're in a rush. Let's go now? As soon as they left Teng Yi's mother's cultivation home, a few people came up. When he saw the leading bearded cultivator, Yi Mo was shook. It was another truth realization state peak stage cultivator, and his power seemed stronger than Yong Lanyi. What shook Yi Mo even more was that the cultivators next to the man were all truth realization state cultivators. Father. Teng Yi saw the bearded man and called respectfully. Father. Teng Yi saw the bearded man and called respectfully. The bearded cultivator looked at Teng Yi and then Yi Mo and Bien Fengta. When he saw Yi Mo, his face showed some shock, but he immediately frowned and didn't say anything. But his glance reached Teng Yi's mother and he said in disbelief, Jian Jian, you've recovered? Teng Yi's mother quickly went up and said softly, yes, Yi invited his friend and brought me 2 pills, I recovered from that. Yi Mo realized this man was Teng Xiong. Teng Xiong heard this and looked at Teng Yi approvingly. You did very well. Then he looked at Teng Yi's mother. Jian Jian, I've been searching for a Dan Tian recovery pill but I haven't been able to find it. It's so great that you recovered. Thank you, Teng Yi's mother said gratefully. Teng Yi looked down and raised his lips in contempt. Ever since mother was injured, his father only came to visit her a few times. Your 2 friends have such pills? Teng Xiong then set his eyes on Yi Mo and Bien Fengta. Clearly, he cared more about the pills that could recover Dan Tian. Teng Yi was afraid Yi Mo and Bien Fengta would offend his father, so he replied first, Yes father, my friend is a level 7 pill king, so mother's condition is no problem for him. Yi Mo cursed, but he couldn't send a sound transmission to Teng Yi as this truth realization state peak stage would easily intercept it. It was fine that Teng Yi knew his identity, but Yi Mo knew what sort of person Teng Xiong was just from this short interaction. His wife had just recovered, but instead he was caring about the pill. Clearly, he was an extremely selfish person. There was no way someone like him would let him go after knowing he was level 7 pill king. Hearing this, Teng Xiong stared at Yi Mo in disbelief. You're a level 7 pill king? How is that possible? The Kai from your body shows you're younger than 100 years. He paused and said, but you could reach cauldron filling state at such an age, clearly you're no ordinary person. What's your name? Did you come from the 3 Seas or South Peace state? Yi Mo knew there was nothing to do other than admit now, so he saluted with his fists. WN Bei greets King Teng. Although I'm a level 7 pill king, my success rate isn't very high. I'm barely a level 7 pill king. The pill I used to save Teng Yi's mother was left behind by my master. Great, 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 very well. Teng Xiong then said to Teng Yi, Teng, bring your friend to the main palace. I've invited a few friends over today, you can come with your friends. He didn't care at all that Yi Mo didn't tell him where he came from. Meanwhile, Teng Yi was still bewildered why Brother Yi said he was barely level 7 pill king when he told him he was almost level 8 pill king. Yi Mo quickly said, Teng said he would take me to Lost Soul Ruins and see, he said that it's very eerie there, I want to go see. You want to go Lost Soul Ruins? Teng Xiong looked at Yi Mo with surprise. Teng Yi knew what Yi Mo thought. Yi Mo didn't want to stay here at all and didn't want much contact with his father. Realizing this, Teng Yi quickly said, Yes father, Ta and Yi Mo and I got along very well. I told him Lost Soul Ruins is very scary, but Brother Yi still wants to go see, we're planning to go there. Before Teng Xiong spoke, a beast cultivator who was truth realization state tertiary stage next to him walked up and patted Yi Mo's shoulder. Not bad, you're this young and cauldron filling state but also a level 7 pill king. Your future is boundless. Yi Mo immediately had an uncomfortable feeling. Just when Yi Mo didn't know how to reply, another truth realization state middle stage smiled. Brother Lan, your granddaughter is extremely beautiful. Since you like this kid so much, why not marry her to him? That cultivator who patted Yi Mo's shoulder immediately showed a happy smile. That's right, I was thinking that too. Yi Mo, when you come back, come with me to Yu Tian Island and see my granddaughter. Yi Mo subconsciously shivered. A beast cultivator wanted to marry his granddaughter to him. No matter how pretty she was, he didn't dare to have her. What Yi Mo didn't expect was that Teng Xiong also patted Yi Mo's shoulder. Go with Teng to Lost Soul Ruins first, you can come back and chat with me later. But just have a look outside, you must not go in. Yi Mo heard this and immediately said, yes, WN Bei will leave now. Then, Yi Mo turned back and looked at Teng. He quickly bid his parents farewell and left with Bien Fengta. As soon as Yi Mo left the island, he let out Blue Moon and took the two dashing away in a blue ray. On the way, no one talked. When they left the palace more than a few 100,000 kilometers behind them, Yi Mo finally breathed easy. Seeing this, Teng Yi asked, Yi Mo, are you very desperate to leave? My father doesn't like me that much, but he won't trouble my friends. Bien Fengta saw things clearer and sneered. Teng, your father won't trouble him, but don't you think your father and his friends are a bit too nice to Yi Mo? Teng Yi realized and nodded. Now that you say it, I've never seen my father be so nice to my friends. He's never even been that nice to me. So strange. It's not strange at all, because Yi Mo's level 7 pill king, Bien Fengta said. Teng Yi woke up now and looked dazedly at the two. You're saying that because Yi Mo is a level 7 pill king, my father won't let him leave the palace? Yi Mo said, if your father didn't come with his friends together, I wouldn't be able to leave today. Your father wants to keep me not only because I'm a level 7 pill king, but also my cultivation speed is so fast. Yi Mo felt scared. If he was kept by Teng Xiong, his secrets would all be exposed, even the Golden Page world. Teng Yi was dazed and realized the two were saying the truth. He felt guilty. Sorry Yi Mo, you saved my mother and I almost led you to doom. Teng Yi knew if his father imprisoned Yi Mo he wouldn't be able to save him, and if he angered his father, he wouldn't be well off either. Teng Yi panted. Well, good that we're safe now, how about let's not go to Lost Soul Ruins? Yi Mo has an extreme grade flying cultivation artifact. Even if my father is truth realization state peak stage, he won't be able to catch up to us. Yi Mo said calmly, even if we leave half a month early, your father will be able to catch up to us. So can that guy from Chi Tian Island? Bien Fengta immediately realized what Yi Mo meant. You're saying they marked you with a spirit sense mark? Yi Mo nodded. Yes, and not just one. The two immediately realized that when they patted Yi Mo's shoulder, that was when he was marked. How do you know? That's truth realization state spirit sense mark. Bien Fengta asked in confusion. Yi Mo sighed. Because I've been marked too many times. When I was foundation establishment state, golden core state would mark me. When I was nascent soul state, hollow spirit state would mark me. Now that I'm cauldron filling state, truth realization state would mark me. Low power really means you're an insect. Teng Yi said guiltily to Yi Mo, sorry, brother Yi, I brought this upon you. But what do we do? Teng Yi knew truth realization state cultivator spirit sense marks were unable to be removed. Yi Mo smiled and waved his hand. Teng, don't worry, this has nothing to do with you. Plotting against me? Even truth realization state isn't enough. Yi Mo, you have a way to remove the spirit sense marks? Bien Fengta asked. It was extremely hard for cauldron-filling state cultivators to remove truth realization state spirit sense marks, but to Bien Fengta, Yi Mo wasn't an ordinary cauldron-filling state at all. Yi Mo, you have a way to remove the spirit sense marks? Bien Fengta asked. It was extremely hard for cauldron-filling state cultivators to remove truth realization state spirit sense marks, but to Bien Fengta, Yi Mo wasn't an ordinary cauldron-filling state at all. Teng Yi also looked at Yi Mo worriedly, hoping for a certain answer. Yi Mo nodded. Yes, I have a way to remove it, but I can't do it now. Why? The two asked at the same time. If I remove it now, we can only leave immediately and not go Lost Soul Ruins, Yi Mo replied. If he removed it now, Ting Xiong and the other truth realization state cultivator would know and might wait for him at Lost Soul Ruins. If he indeed couldn't go inside Lost Soul Ruins, he would remove the spirit sense mark and run away. If he could go inside, he would leave it inside the Lost Soul Ruins and the two would think he died there. Yi Mo put 8 extreme-grade spirit stones on Blue Moon, and with Yi Mo's cultivation essence, it sped through the sky above the Heartless Sea. A few days later, Blue Moon stopped. This was the first time Yi Mo saw Lost Soul Ruins and immediately knew it wasn't someplace ordinary people could enter. The entire Lost Soul Ruins seemed to be covered in a grey mist. It seemed like a city torn apart by war. Crumbled buildings lingered in the mist and even the entire island seemed to be swaying as well. Don't scan your spirit sense in. Tang Yi said it too late and Yi Mo had scanned his spirit sense in already. As soon as he did, he felt his sea of consciousness hurt. There seemed to be a voice calling him to go into the Lost Soul Ruins. His face was dazed and he subconsciously wanted to walk forward. But then, 3 birth chant started running itself and Yi Mo immediately noticed things were wrong. He cut with purple eye soul sever and that voice was severed off. At this moment, Teng Yi already came to pull him. I forgot to tell you can't scan your spirit sense in. Did you do it just then? Teng Yi asked. Yi Mo nodded. Yes, it's indeed powerful and eerie. You scanned your spirit sense in and were able to sever it. Teng Yi was shook again. Usually if one scanned their spirit sense in, it would be death without someone else's help, but Yi Mo could break free. This was unbelievable. Yi Mo ate a spirit recovery pill and nodded. My spirit sense is special so I can cut it off, but this Lost Soul Ruins is indeed extraordinary. How can a place like this have level 9 spirit herbs? That's impossible. Lost Soul Ruins was an abandoned city. He would believe it if there were ores there but not level 9 spirit herbs. Tang Yi said seriously, it's true there are level 9 spirit herbs inside. But a year later, he didn't see Li He bringing Li Hun to Bright Moon City, so he went to where she was. Learning her situation, he was even more sad. Eventually, he asked Li He to let him take Li Hun away. He was willing to take care of her for the rest of her life. Li He thought that he was planning to marry his daughter to Feng Shi anyways, so he agreed. When Feng Shi brought Li Hun back, he wanted to save her at all costs. He flipped through all of his father's books and finally found a secret technique to recover the soul. That was to set up a soul-nourishing formation and put the person who lost his soul inside. Then, one would use their own soul to nourish that person. With this, 99 days later, the person who lost his soul might recover a part of his soul and then can make it stronger through cultivation. But there was one great flaw, and that was if you used your own soul to nourish someone else, after some time, your soul would have its essence blood damaged heavily. If you were lucky, you would lose 80% of your lifespan. If you weren't, you would lose your soul too and become an idiot. Bien Fengta sighed. This Feng Shi is an emotional man. Yi Mo knew of the soul and nourishing formation. But the injured person must have at least a sliver of his soul or it would be useless. The best way to treat it wasn't the soul-nourishing formation but the soul-nourishing pill. It could cultivate a cultivator's lost soul and repair dead cultivators' souls. It was a heaven-grade level 7 pill, but it was worth the same as heaven-grade level 8 pills or even level 9. It needed the soul return fruit, a level 8 spirit herb which was rarer than ordinary level 9 spirit herbs. Did that Feng Shi succeed? Bien Fengta asked. Teng Yi shook his head. If he succeeded, there wouldn't be Lost Soul Ruins. Didn't succeed? Bien Fengta asked desperately. Didn't succeed? Bien Fengta asked desperately. Teng Yi nodded. Yes, but Feng Shi isn't to be blamed. It was because Li Hun's father Li He wanted to see his daughter suddenly after about a month. That wasn't even half the time. For some reason, he came to Bright Moon City and didn't tell Feng Shi. He even beat all the guards and charged into Feng Shi's solitary cultivation place. When he saw his daughter sleeping with Feng Shi, he was furious. His daughter didn't even have a soul and this Feng Shi slept with her. Bien Fengta asked, this was Feng Shi using his own soul to nourish Li Hun's soul, right? Teng Yi nodded. I believe so too. Li He probably misunderstood and slapped Feng Shi to the side. He carried his daughter and pointed at Feng Shi while spitting blood. You. Teng Yi sighed. Then, he didn't kill Feng Shi due to his relationship with his father. He just took his daughter and left heartless Si. But Feng Shi's soul was already on Li Hun's body nourishing hers, so when he took Li Hun, he didn't kill Feng Shi but Feng Shi was left without a soul. That was the same as being dead. Bian Fengta sighed, not knowing how to comment on this tragedy. Yi Mo looked at Teng Yi in confusion. That he should at least be a truth realization state cultivator, right? Teng Yi nodded. Yes, I heard that He and Feng Chun were both truth realization state cultivators, very powerful ones. Yi Mo didn't believe that. A truth realization state can't see a soul-nourishing formation. Yi Mo didn't believe that an ancient truth realization state cultivator wouldn't be able to tell a soul-nourishing formation. If he recognized it, why did he still do that? Teng Yi shook his head. I don't know, I heard this from someone, I don't know the specific details. Why did Bright Moon City become Lost Soul Ruins? Bian Fengta asked. Teng Yi said, after he took Li Hun, Feng Shi's soul was gone and there was no city lord, so the city gradually broke apart. Many people left and only some loyal guards stayed. As time went on, the defense formations of the city weren't being maintained and so were broken by spirit beasts. Those who stayed died in battle and those spirit beasts that went into the city weren't able to leave for some reason and died inside. Then, grey mist rose up in the sky, which is the mist we now see. It's said that you can hear Feng Shi's voice once you go inside Bright Moon City. What sound? Bian Fengta immediately asked. Teng Yi said, it's said that someone inside constantly calls, where is my soul, where is my soul? Those people who go in and hear this lose their soul, and thus this place was named Lost Soul Ruins. Feng Shi's soul must have been taken away by He and so he formed this grudge, Bian Fengta said. Teng Yi shook his head. Not necessarily, I heard people say his calling where is my Hun. Regardless, there's definitely some stubborn will there. Teng Yi looked at Yi Mo. Brother Yi, we're friends and I'm not bullshitting. I don't know if this tale is true or false or how it got out. But it's indeed a place of no return, I hope you won't go in. If anything, we can go somewhere else and think of a way. As long as you can remove the spirit sense mark on you, we can do something. Bian Fengta also looked at Yi Mo, fervently hoping he wouldn't go inside. Yi Mo nodded. Teng, are we friends? Teng Yi said without hesitation, Brother Yi, of course we're friends. Even if you don't think I'm your friend, I think you're my friend. Plus, I know you already think of me and Ertar as friends. Great. Yi Mo patted Teng Yi and said, of course I do. I know, Teng Yi immediately said. Yi Mo said, if I need a spirit herb to survive and it's only inside Lost Soul Ruins, would you help me find it? Teng Yi patted his chest. Of course, you saved my mother so you saved me. A mere Lost Soul Ruins is nothing, no matter how dangerous it is, I would go in and help you. Yi Mo nodded. That's it, I have a very good friend like you, he's even a Qian Bei and he needs a spirit herb that's inside the Lost Soul Ruins. So I need to go in, I believe you can understand me now, right? Bian Fengta knew Yi Mo needed immortal curl flower and didn't say anything but Teng Yi immediately said, okay Brother Yi, I'll go in with you. No need, you and Ertar leave here first and wait for me. I have a cultivation method that can avoid the grey mist, it's not good for you guys to go in. Yi Mo saw that his purple eye soul sever was useful and wanted to go in already. You can avoid the grey mist? Teng Yi asked in shock, but he immediately remembered something. I understand, you scanned your spirit sense in and you were fine. That's your method, right? That's right. Yi Mo nodded. Bian Fengta said, where do we wait for you? Yi Mo thought and said, Ertar, the island we met is good. Just wait for me there. If I'm successful, I will come out within a year, if it's been more than a year and a half then don't wait for me. Yi Mo was talking about the place Meng Qi used the space travel rune. The two knew it was pointless to persuade Yi Mo, so they went on Bian Fengta's flying cultivation artifact and left the Lost Soul Ruins. The place seemed very desolate after the two left. The occasional shrieks coming from the Lost Soul Ruins made things more spooky. The eeriest place Yi Mo had ever been to was Truthful Palace Level 7, And now he felt the same feeling here. Yimo walked into the mist without hesitation and at the same time used purple eye soul sever. Yimo would go into his golden page world or leave immediately as soon as things weren't right. At the same time, two girls flew past here and saw Yimo go in. Sister, did I see wrong? Did I just see a cultivator go into the Lost Soul ruins? A red-robed young girl rubbed her eyes in disbelief and asked. The green-robed girl also said in a daze, Sister, you saw right, someone did go inside. Huh. The two glanced at each other and sped to where Yimo was. Then, they glanced at each other again, not daring to say a thing. As soon as Yimo went in, he felt his spirit sense was uncontrollable. Even his purple eye soul sever couldn't stop his sea of consciousness from being lost. There was something calling to him to give up resistance. If he didn't have the three birth chant, Yimo wouldn't dare to imagine his fate. The next moment Yimo wanted to leave, but when Yimo turned around, he was dumbfounded. He was in a misty world with no idea where he had come in from. In that short time, his sea of consciousness rumbled again. The spirit sense swords he struck out became fuzzy. Yimo was shook. If his purple eye soul sever was useless, then he would lose his soul. A fuzzy sound came as though saying, "Where is my soul?" The legend was real. Yimo went into his golden page world without hesitation. He was scared he would lose his soul. A fuzzy sound came as though saying, "Where is my soul?" The legend was real. Yimo went into his golden page world without hesitation. He was scared he would lose his soul. Once inside the golden page world, Yimo quickly ate a spirit recovery pill. He was already cauldron-filling state and his spirit sense was far more powerful than cultivators of his cultivation level. He even had a spirit sense cultivation method, yet he was still forced into the golden page world. As for turning back and not seeing an exit, it was obvious that it was an illusion formation. Yimo believed if he had time, he would be able to find a way out no matter how powerful it was. But that grey mist was inexplainable. It was similar to the mist in the Herb Valley but not completely the same. Before Yimo had time to recover, Shadowless came up and seemed agitated. Yimo was in no good mood. He reproached Shadowless and told it to stay on the side before throwing out a surveillance formation disc. Inside, Yimo only saw the grey mist and rubble. There were no spirit herbs nor even an ant. Yimo couldn't see much due to the mist, but even so, he could tell that the Lost Soul ruins was a huge illusion formation. Due to this, ordinary people couldn't survive here. If he didn't have Golden Page World, even though he was a level 9 formation Grandmaster, it would be useless. The illusion formation here was level 9 or above. When the level 9 formation Grandmaster studied the formation, he would probably lose himself first. Yimo felt there was something more powerful in the grey mist, but he just couldn't find it yet. At this moment, Shadowless flew up to his hand again. Its eyes were very small, but Yimo could see a sycophantic look in them. "You want to go out?" Yimo asked in confusion. Hearing this, Shadowless nodded its head rapidly. Yimo knew Shadowless was a shadowless worm and a huge eater. It was small, but its digestive systems were too powerful. Perhaps it could really devour the grey mist. Thinking of this, Yimo let out Shadowless without hesitation and was prepared that if anything happened to Shadowless, he would bring him in immediately. He was scared of the grey mist too, but he should be able to last a few minutes with the purple eye soul sever. However, as soon as Shadowless was thrown out, it was like a vacuum cleaner and the white mist formed a grey line that went into its mouth. Immediately, the grey mist seemed to be alive and scattered away after Shadowless sucked. It could be eaten. Yimo didn't think much and went out of the Golden Page World immediately while cutting with purple eye soul sever. The mist thinned down and soon he cut the grey mist away to form a safe space. Shadowless felt the mist retreating and wanted to chase up to eat more, but Yimo quickly called it back. If this guy ate too much, it would go to sleep in the Golden Page World. He needed its help now. Shadowless felt this, and although it wasn't willing, it had to land on Yimo's shoulder and occasionally devour some mist seeping from Yimo's purple eye soul sever. It crawled around unhappily on Yimo's shoulder. Yimo wasn't going to care what Shadowless thought now. He quickly looked around and a tattered ancient city showed. He was on a street right now. There was nothing but broken construction on the two sides. Yimo walked along the street for tens of meters and suddenly realized a problem. He did indeed hear "Where is my soul?" before, but now he couldn't hear it at all. There was no way he heard wrong. Yimo didn't keep going forward. He walked into a half-collapsed shop on the side. Inside, Yimo saw a pile of bones and two eroded weapons. Yimo found another more spacious place and started searching for his spirit sense mark. He didn't know where it was put, but the truth realization state cultivator wouldn't pat him on the shoulder for no reason. With Yimo's experience, he found the two spirit sense marks in a moment's time, one on the left and one on the right. Yimo sneered. These guys really had some tacit agreement, treating him like a sheep who couldn't resist. Although Yimo could burn the spirit sense marks away with his heaven flame, he didn't do that. He removed the two spirit sense marks and set up a trap formation which he threw them inside before leaving this shop. What Yimo didn't expect was as soon as he left the shop, a black figure appeared inside. It had no body but just two weak rays of light that seemed to be in its eyes. It didn't leave with Yimo but circulated Yimo's trap formation for a bit and went inside. When Yimo went into the Golden Page world, Ting Xiong at Dragon Teng Palace frowned. The other truth realization state cultivator who marked Yimo also frowned and there was a desperate look on his face. The other guests noticed this immediately. They clearly understood why the two frowned. They all saw them marking Yimo with a spirit sense mark but didn't say anything. Perhaps they frowned due to this. If it wasn't that their power was weaker, they wouldn't let a level 7 pill king like Yimo go. There were only one or two level 7 pill kings in the Heartless Sea. With Yimo's power, joining any of them would bring immeasurable gain. Brother Xiong, is that Yimo really a level 7 pill king? A truth realization state middle stage cultivator asked. At this moment, Teng Xiong and the guy from Yutian Island both breathed easy, clearly sensing Yimo's spirit sense mark again. Hearing this, Teng Xiong smiled. It's nothing new that young people like to bluff. His cultivation speed is fast and so he might be a pill king, but I believe everyone doesn't believe he is really a level 7 pill king. But even if he is a level 4 pill king or below, it's quite substantial to achieve that at his age, so I quite approve of him. Plus, his friend with my son, so I want to invite him to stay here. Another truth realization state cultivator said, before Brother Lan said he was going to marry his granddaughter to Yimo. If Yimo likes Brother Lan's granddaughter, he might not necessarily want to stay at Dragon Teng Palace. Haha, yes, I really like that Yimo too. He's quite a match for my granddaughter. When he's back with Teng, they can both come to my island. Brother Lan nodded. Teng Xiong sneered, invite Yimo to Yutian Island? Would he still be able to leave? However, he didn't show anything on his face and smiled. This suggestion is good. I have a big bunch of daughters and granddaughters, Brother Lan reminded me. Brother Lan heard this and his face looked bad. Just when he was about to argue, a maid brought in a few plates of fresh spirit fruits. Come, try my Dragon Ting Palace's blue wei fruit. It's freshly picked. Ting Xiong picked one up and said. He was confused about Yimo's spirit sense mark disappearing, but he also breathed easy now that it reappeared. Come, try my Dragon Ting Palace's blue wei fruit. It's freshly picked. Ting Xiong picked one up and said. He was confused about Yimo's spirit sense mark disappearing, but he also breathed easy now that it reappeared. He wasn't going to let go of a cultivator like Yimo. Blue wei fruit was a level 6 spirit fruit. It tasted very good. For a truth realization state cultivator, it was just purely to satisfy the mouth eating this, but the truth realization state cultivators here were thinking about that young level 7 pill king. If Dragon Teng Palace got him, then its power would increase many times again. That way, if they wanted pills, they would need to come here through Teng Xiong. Teng Xiong would take a lot of benefits. They weren't thinking about eating the fruit but how to stop Yimo from becoming a part of the Dragon Teng Palace so he could concoct pills for everyone. How could Teng Xiong not know what they were thinking? He turned around to the woman who brought in the fruit. I want to discuss with these friends about cultivation. I need some time. If Teng comes back, tell him to wait for me at his mother's place. I will go visit his mother after I'm done here. Hearing this, These few cultivators thought contemptuously of Teng Xiong. Telling Teng Yi to go to his mother meant that Yi Mo would go too. It would be inconvenient for them to visit Teng Yi's mother. They knew what Teng Xiong thought, but they had no way around it. They could only wait for a while and find an opportunity to see Yi Mo. But Teng Xiong didn't know that Teng Yi wasn't going to come back at all because he didn't chat with his mother. If he did, he would know that Teng Yi wouldn't be coming back. Yes, father, I saw ninth brother Teng not long ago, his with the 2 human cultivators and. The woman heard this and said in a sulk. This young woman was the Hu Yi Mo had seen before. She didn't know that Teng Yi had come back already, as their flying magic artifacts weren't as fast as Yi Mo's. She came to serve the spirit fruit herself just so she could report about Teng Yi. He hated it when people mentioned she was second brother's wife when she was with sixth brother. Teng Yi knew this but still said it to her face. Teng Xiong frowned, clearly thinking this woman was talking too much. He didn't ask, but the other truth realization state level 7 cultivator asked, "Oh, did you see Ting? Where are they now?" That cultivator clearly thought Hu Yi saw Yi Mo and Teng Yi after they left Dragon Teng Palace, so he asked. If he knew where Yi Mo was, he could use that excuse to go see. Seeing someone asked this, Teng Xiong looked at her and said, "And what? Say it." The woman said with more sulkiness, "Teng Yi made friends with 2 human cultivators. Sixth brother reproached him, but he didn't care at all. That wasn't it, but those 2 human cultivators stared at me lustfully as though they wanted to eat me." Hearing this, Teng Xiong got up in joy. "You said that human cultivator looked at you with lust?" Hu Yi thought her lies worked and said, "Yes, although brother Jie has been out for a few decades, I'm still." Teng Xiong waved his hand. "Okay, very well, in my heart you are like my own daughter." Before she could be happy about it, Teng Xiong said again, "That cultivator who stared at you is called Yi Mo. In a few days when he comes back, you can prepare yourself. I'll marry you to him." "Great, great. Ha ha. Huh." Hu Yi was dazed. She came to report Teng Yi, but the king just married her to that human cultivator instead. What was this? Teng Xiong was the king, but he was her grandpa and she was married to his son. Without knowing if his son was dead or alive, he just casually married his daughter-in-law to someone else. This was too absurd. Hu Yi panicked, but before she could continue, Teng Xiong waved his hand. "Go dress yourself up and wait for Yi Mo to come back. Let the maids serve the spirit fruit, you don't need to come yourself." "Yes." Hu Yi knew that anything else she said now would only anger the king. She knew the consequences of angering him. After Hu Yi left, Teng Xiong looked at that truth realization state cultivator and laughed. "I didn't even know Yi Mo was interested in my daughter. It seems Brother Lan doesn't need to introduce your granddaughter, haha." The others could only curse Teng Xiong for being shameless. Meanwhile, Yi Mo left the streets and came to a huge square. The grey mist seemed to be very scared of Shadowless and left before Yi Mo used Purple Eye Soul Sever. "Where is my soul? Where is my soul?" At this moment, that voice sounded again. Yi Mo heard it very clearly. He even felt his soul was going to leave his body after hearing it. When he scanned with spirit sense, there seemed to be a black figure, but when he looked again, there was nothing. His spirit sense couldn't scan out very far despite having Purple Eye Soul Sever, and with this voice appearing again and again, even he was creeped out. After hearing this, Yi Mo thought that he was a cultivator, a cauldron-filling state cultivator. He wasn't afraid of ghosts. Plus, even if it was a ghost cultivator he wouldn't care, but that voice felt very strange. If it wasn't a cultivator, there was no way it just appeared here. Even a very strong will couldn't. That voice was able to influence his mind. What cultivator's will could influence the mind of a cauldron-filling state cultivator, especially his? Yi Mo knew that his mind was very resolute from cultivating under the bitter bamboo. Even the heart demon wasn't able to do anything during the divine damnation, much less some will. That voice disappeared at the door of a ruined palace. Yi Mo could see from the framework how grandiloquent it must have been. The palace hadn't collapsed, but the pillars outside were a little damaged. The palace was completely dark, but Yi Mo walked in. After coming inside, Yi Mo felt his body go cold, not because the temperature was cold but because his heart felt cold. It was as though he walked into a place he shouldn't have. Two eyes that emitted weak light flashed across Yimo, and Yimo stopped his steps. He scanned with spirit sense and saw a faint black figure. This figure was even harder to see in the dark. This wasn't a ghost cultivator nor a spirit cultivator. Yimo was shocked as he had never seen something like this. It wasn't human nor spirit beast nor spirit item. Did this grey mist have its own will after existing for so long? Shadowless, go up and eat it, Yimo ordered, but Shadowless didn't even move. Yimo immediately knew from Shadowless that the thing was long gone. Yimo didn't expect this black figure to be this fast. Even Shadowless wasn't able to capture it. Passing through this dark hall, he went into the backyard. This seemed to be the city lord estate. Yimo scanned with spirit sense, and the first thing he noticed was the most spacious room. The most eye-catching thing was the big bed. The reason Yimo came here was not because of the bed but because of the formation markings near the bed. Yimo picked up a small broken formation flag and studied it for a while and realized. This room was Fengshi's room. This big bed was the place Fengshi tried to save Li Hun. He understood why Li Hun's father was so angry, as this was no misunderstanding. The broken formation here wasn't a soul-nourishing formation but a soul-devouring formation or spirit transfer formation. Soul-devouring formation was a very evil formation. It was also called spirit transfer formation. Even a level 1 soul-devouring formation was very hard to set up as the materials needed weren't something ordinary people could acquire. Soul-devouring formation was a very evil formation. It was also called spirit transfer formation. Even a level 1 soul-devouring formation was very hard to set up as the materials needed weren't something ordinary people could acquire. The main ingredient needed was soul-devouring wood. It grew in very hidden places without any sunlight. If it was exposed to light, it must be picked away immediately or it would wither. The reason soul-devouring formation was evil was because it could transfer a cultivator's spirit roots. Through this, it could transfer a talented cultivator's spirit roots to yourself, making yourself better. Rarely would anyone in the cultivation realm do this as the requirements needed were too strict. Even if someone got the spirit-devouring wood, they would rarely do this as once someone took the spirit roots through the formation, they couldn't use it for himself. He must give them to a third person so the formation really benefited the third person. That's why it was called spirit transfer formation. The third person must also be blood related to the second person or it wouldn't work either. So if Fengshi got Li Hun's spirit roots through the formation, he couldn't use them himself. He must give it to someone blood related to him. Yimo also realized why he didn't kill Fengshi after knowing this was soul-devouring formation. Fengshi was also a victim and the person who harmed him might be his father Feng Chun. The soul-nourishing formation and soul-devouring formation were quite similar and the only difference was the soul-devouring wood. If Feng Chun schemed all this, then he might teach Fengshi this formation but tell him it was the soul-nourishing formation instead. But Yimo felt it was also suspicious even if Feng Chun did it. Regardless of whether Fengshi succeeded or not, he didn't need to set up this huge illusion formation and create this terrifying mist that could make a cultivator lose his soul. Plus, the news he got came from Teng Yi who said it was a legend. Who knew if it was real? Bright Moon City was destroyed, so who spread the legend out? Of course, Feng Chun was the most suspicious. Yimo shook his head and didn't keep thinking. He left this room. This had nothing to do with him, he just wanted to search for spirit herbs. As soon as he walked out, that black figure appeared in his spirit sense again. Shadowless knew what Yimo wanted and charged up already. That black figure seemed to know Shadowless was coming and wanted to run away but Shadowless' eating power was displayed. It sucked and that black figure turned into a line and was devoured by Shadowless. Yimo saw this and thought that this eating monster was really powerful. Moments later, Yimo felt Shadowless joy and knew that Shadowless ate a soul that was being nourished in the mist. Realizing this, Yimo was shook. If that was the case, there definitely was some terrifying existence in the mist. Those cultivators who came in here had their souls stripped and kept inside the mist. When he wanted to use one he would take one. What cultivation method was practiced through devouring people's souls? What being was this? Was he a demon cultivator or beast cultivator? If he found the immortal curl flower, Yimo might leave right now. He didn't want to stay in this eerie environment. He no longer had the mood to stay in this room. He quickly left and sped past streets and went into the golden page world at a hidden spot. Even though Jiling's essence spirit was weak, he had to ask Jiling. Jiling was still asleep, but due to Yimo's Herb King spirit range and the bitter bamboo, his essence spirit didn't weaken. Jiling immediately knew that it was something important since Yimo wouldn't wake him otherwise. Is it something important? Yimo nodded. He said directly, Qian Bei, I've encountered a place outside. It's covered in grey mist, and after going inside, cultivators are susceptible to losing their soul. You're talking about Lost Soul Ruins? Jiling asked. Yimo answered immediately, that's right, Lost Soul Ruins. Yimo, thank you. You probably came here to find the immortal curl flower for me, right? Jiling said. Jiling Qian Bei, now's not the time to talk about that. I see many souls in here, but they only have a dark figure body and dimly lit eyes. Jiling said in shock, so Lost Soul Ruins is where demon cultivators devour souls. Yimo, leave quickly. Even if I can't recover my body, you must not stay here. You don't know how terrifying soul-devouring cultivators are. They're more demonic than demons. Yimo had already come inside. He wasn't going to leave unless he got immortal curl flower here. Jiling was saying this for his benefit, but Yimo still said, Qian Bei, what is a soul-devouring cultivator? It's the first time I've heard about it. Jiling replied, it's a very terrifying cultivation method. The cultivator can keep others' souls and let them grow itself. When he needs it, he can devour them to strengthen his own soul. These cultivators' spirit sense and soul are very powerful, more than 10 times that of ordinary cultivators. They're definitely invincible in the same cultivation level and can easily kill cultivators above their level. Jiling murmured, no wonder there are so many spirit herbs here. Why? Yimo immediately asked. Because the souls he keeps need spirit herbs to feed them, or their level wouldn't be high enough and thus won't be able to benefit his cultivation, Jiling replied weakly. Yimo saw this and quickly said, Qian Bei, go rest first, I understand. Jiling sighed. He worried for Yimo, but he wasn't able to help him. Yimo left the golden page world and realized why Shadowless loved devouring the black figures so much. They were all souls fed with high-level spirit herbs. Yimo even suspected that the cultivator holding high-level spirit herbs was intentionally let out to attract more people to come. Knowing that there was a very powerful being here, Yimo didn't keep searching for spirit herbs. Since it was kept by someone, he wouldn't be able to rob it. According to Jiling, that cultivator must be very strong and he probably was no match for him. What he needed to do now was to find the formation door of the illusion formation. Only when he could control the illusion formation would he be able to keep searching for spirit herbs. Only then would he be able to leave whenever he wanted. At this moment, Yimo felt a strong spirit essence wave from Shadowless. He immediately realized Shadowless broke through. He didn't know what level Shadowless was, but each time it broke through, its power rose drastically. Shadowless broke through just by eating a black figure and didn't even go to sleep. Yimo rejoiced and let the mist come near him by removing purple eye soul sever. As soon as the grey mist neared Yimo, it turned into a grey beam that was devoured completely by Shadowless. Then, the grey mist started to retreat as though it was alive. Shadowless didn't seem to be interested in chasing up. Its eyes looked around in the mist for something, clearly wanting the black figure souls. Yimo breathed easy. With Shadowless, it was much easier for him. He could focus on studying the formation. The illusion formation here was very high level, but it wasn't hard for level 9 formation Grand Master Yimo. 2 hours later, Yimo came to that big square again. He found the first formation door here, and he found that this place was not only an illusion formation but also a level 8 attack and trap formation. Only the illusion formation was level 9. The formation flags were either hidden in the air, had been transformed into pebbles and rocks on the square. He made a new formation flag and replaced the old formation flag with his own. When Yimo changed the first formation flag, Yimo had the big idea of the framework of the formation. Changing up the rest of the formation flags would be easy for him. After a day, Yimo had changed all of the outer formation flags of the illusion formation. Yimo knew there were a few main formation flags he didn't change but he had made. When Yimo changed the first formation flag, Yimo had the big idea of the framework of the formation. Changing up the rest of the formation flags would be easy for him. After a day, Yimo had changed all of the outer formation flags of the illusion formation. Yimo knew there were a few main formation flags he didn't change but he had made. During this time, Yimo didn't let Shadowless go out to hunt for food. He didn't even care about the voice calling out for his soul. Yimo set out a few spirit sense strikes every once in a while and the voice couldn't affect him. He just focused on setting up the formation. To him, the most important thing was preparing his escape path. Yimo understood this place completely now. It was shaped like an oval, with the center of the formation at the center of the oval. Thus Yimo predicted that if someone was controlling the formation, he would be at the center of the oval. That would be the center of the formation. Yimo didn't know if the cultivator here knew of his existence after him staying for a day, but from how he changed the formation flags and still no one came, Yimo believed that guy probably didn't know he was here or had already left. Yimo went along the streets towards the center of the formation. At the same time, he prepared a few formation flags. He would control the entire formation as soon as he went into the heart of the formation. 2 hours later, Yimo had gone into the center region of Lost Soul Ruins. The grey mist here was more dense. Despite the grey mist fearing Shadowless, it still rushed up sensing Yimo's arrival. Yimo let Shadowless eat all he wanted. However, there were more and more black figures. Most of them didn't even form eyes. The black figures and grey mist noticed Yimo's threat and rushed up. At this moment, the black figure calling "Where's my soul?" also slowly floated towards Yimo. Yimo could feel his sea of consciousness becoming heavy and he burned some essence blood, cutting with purple eye soul sever while urging Shadowless to hurry. Shadowless noticed Yimo's worry and made a sharp shriek. The black figures and white mist were sucked in without resistance. Yimo felt a little relieved but he was also very shocked. He was sure that these black figures were attacking him of their own accord. If someone controlled them, he would be defeated. Yimo took out a bitter bamboo leaf and put it in his mouth. Immediately, Yimo felt his spirit sense clear up and the calling of the voice weakened. Yimo rejoiced. He let out Mist Lotus Heartfire wanting to help Shadowless. Soon, he found that the Mist Lotus Heartfire would scare off the black figures but it couldn't burn the mist, or it burned too slowly. Yimo realized that Mist Lotus Heartfire was too low level. With Shadowless going on a rampage, Yimo put away Mist Lotus Heartfire and looked around carefully. He found that the black figure calling "Where's my soul?" was completely different than the other black figures. This was a living human. His eyes were dazed and he just murmured "Where's my soul?" Yimo thought of the legend Tengi told him and had an extremely uncomfortable feeling. He had the premonition that the legend was 80% true. This soulless man was probably Feng Shi. He heard clearly now he wasn't saying "Where is my soul?" but "Where is my hun?" The two words had a different pitch. Realizing this, Yimo felt sympathetic towards this Feng Shi. He was a tragic man. But then Yimo realized something was wrong. Those black figures would go into Feng Shi's body to be nourished for a while when it was weak. When they came back out, their speed was drastically increased. Yimo felt sad. Feng 11 was being used as a mobile soul-nourishing body. Only Feng Shi's soul willingly left his body, everyone else's soul was forced to leave, so only his body was suitable for soul nourishment. Those souls using Feng Shi's body could easily use Feng Shi's call to rob the souls of cultivators who came in the mist. Such a cruel cultivator, he didn't even let a body rest in peace. Yimo felt very uncomfortable. Feng Shi was harmed and his body was being used for countless years here. This was over the line. Yimo threw out tens of formation flags and trapped Feng Shi before letting Shadowless focus on the souls attached to Feng Shi's body. Shadowless immediately dashed to Feng Shi after receiving Yimo's order. A few black figures were immediately devoured, but at the same time, an almost solid black figure seeped out of Feng Shi's body trying to escape. When Shadowless saw this, it was more excited and flew towards it. The two eyes seemed to have materialized and were not just emitting weak light. Even so, It was still devoured by shadowless. With this, the black shadows around retreated in fear, no longer swarming up like before. The grey mist also gradually retreated. Seeing shadowless appearing a little wobbly, Emo quickly ordered that it must not sleep. It must wait till he got out. Shadowless gave Emo an unhappy response and stayed on Emo's shoulder, not falling asleep. Emo saw that Shadowless devoured so many black figures and no one came to stop him. Clearly, the owner of this place was long gone. Thinking about this, Emo felt a little assured and turned his eyes to Feng-Shi. Emo didn't know how to deal with this Feng-Shi. If he left, his body would be taken over by the countless black shadows. After thinking, Emo put a spirit recovery pill in Feng-Shi's mouth. He didn't know if it would help after all these years. Feng-Shi's expression eased up a little and Emo thought, was it helpful? He threw 2 more in Feng-Shi's mouth. Feng-Shi's eyes recovered some light after a while. He looked around at the terrified black shadows and suddenly, tears of blood fell down his eyes. Hana is gone, I'm going too, thank you friend. A flame suddenly lit up on his body and moments later, he disappeared from the flame, leaving behind a long and sized relic. The relic was round and shiny like a pearl, but there were 2 dark red marks down the middle. Emo felt sad. Feng-Shi had no soul and his spirit recovery pill could only wake his instincts. This relic was the essence of his life's cultivation. He wanted to give this relic to him for setting him free. Emo didn't intend to use this relic at all. He stopped Shadowless from eating it and put it in a jade box. After Feng-Shi disappeared, the mist rustled and the black figures became restless. Emo took Shadowless a few hundred meters forward and a dried-up lake appeared before him. Emo knew this was the center of the Lost Soul ruins. He threw tens of formation flags out and a hidden door was revealed before him. When Emo walked in, an extremely dense spirit Kai filled his mind. There was more than one top-grade spirit range here or else the spirit Kai wouldn't be so dense. Immediately, an extremely furious voice sounded, "Insect, how dare you ruin my plans? You can be my next soul jar." Emo knew Feng-Shi must have been the previous soul jar. Emo threw out a few more formation flags and broke another stealth formation. A very shocking scene appeared before him. He finally understood why he made all that commotion and the owner here didn't do anything. "Sister, that person is dead, right? He's been in there for 2 days." The 2 girls saw Emo go in and had waited for 2 whole days. "Sister, that person is dead, right? He's been in there for 2 days." The 2 girls saw Emo go in and had waited for 2 whole days. The elder sister nodded. "I told you, it's certain death if you go inside there. I'm afraid that person who just went in was body condensation state power and yet he went in and disappeared." The red-robed young girl rebutted, "Sister, you can't say that. Lost Soul Ruins is dangerous but my star barrier is a middle-grade defense cultivation artifact. How do you know I can't block that grey mist? Plus I didn't plan to go in now. Okay, I know your star barrier is number 1 in defense and I'm also worried about Big Sister's injury but our power isn't strong enough. If something happens to us, Father would be more worried. We've been out for a few days, let's go back first." The green-robed girl suddenly stopped talking. The red-robed girl screamed, "Sister, look, the Lost Soul Ruins." The Lost Soul Ruins began to clear up. The white mist began to rumble as though something was happening inside. "Something happened inside," the green-robed girl mumbled. Red-robed girl looked at her sister and suddenly asked, "Sister, would it be related to that cultivator who went in 2 days ago?" "I don't know." The green-robed girl shook her head. "Should we go inside and have a look? I have a middle-grade defense cultivation artifact anyways," the red-robed girl suggested. The green-robed girl immediately said, "I knew you would want to go in Lost Soul Ruins all the time when you got the middle-grade defense cultivation artifact but you can't, definitely not. It's the Lost Soul Ruins, many disaster transformation state and even truth realization state cultivators have died there. We're just hollow spirit state, it's suicide. I heard there's immortal curl flower there. If it's really there and we miss it like that then we would regret our entire life. I want Big Sister to recover earlier and us 3 sisters can stay together happily," the red-robed girl said unhappily. "Wait, I'll notify father to come. Our power is too low. Even with a middle-grade cultivation artifact, we can't go in, the green-robed girl said. Before Yi Mo was a completely nude cultivator who stared at him furiously. This cultivator was surrounded by black mist, and black figures popped out from nowhere into the black mist. Above his head was this whirlpool that Yi Mo's spirit sense couldn't scan into. It was getting faint, as though after another while, it would completely disappear. So this cultivator was amidst an important breakthrough point of soul-devouring cultivation method. No wonder the owner didn't do anything when he made such a commotion outside. Yi Mo rejoiced for his luck but was also shocked. If this cultivator wasn't focused on breaking through and came to attack him, what would happen to him? What shook Yi Mo more was that this cultivator was a female cultivator, and if Yi Mo didn't know that the Lost Soul ruins had existed for countless years, he would think it's a young girl. The female cultivator's nude body was seen by Yi Mo, but she didn't seem embarrassed at all. Instead, she stared cruelly at Yi Mo as though she was going to devour him. No matter how pretty she was, Yi Mo wasn't interested in watching her body. He focused his attention on the whirlpool above her. Yi Mo knew that soon, she would be finished, and the main thing was her power was much higher than him. She was about to reach truth realization state tertiary stage. Yi Mo ignored her fury and kept throwing out formation flags. The woman saw this and just sneered, but when she looked at the formation flag positions and the changing formation, her face looked bad. When she saw Yi Mo throw out 10s more in set positions around her, her face finally changed greatly. As Yi Mo threw out more formation flags, less and less black figures flew into the black mist. Eventually, not a single one flew in. Clearly, Yi Mo had seen through the formation she used for cultivation and sabotaged it. With Yi Mo's intervention, the whirlpool didn't fade away. She screamed, "Stop!" Yi Mo wasn't going to listen. He used almost all his formation means and stopped souls from going into her cultivation formation and controlled all of the formation in his hands. On top of that, he was adding trap formations and kill formations. In a short while, there was a level 7 trap formation around her. But Yi Mo wasn't happy. He was setting up attack formations. When Yi Mo set these up, he found in shock that the female cultivator had finished her cultivation. Although he didn't know if she forced the finish, it wasn't good for him. Before the female cultivator attacked his trap formation, Yi Mo threw out 10s of black lightning swords over. The female cultivator was already injured from forcing the end of her cultivation, and now with Yi Mo's attack, she spat out mouthfuls of blood. The pair of sisters outside the Lost Soul ruins saw that the mist seemed to have lost confinement and scattered off. At the same time, that tattered ancient city was shown. "Sister, look," the red-robed girl pointed at Lost Soul ruins and called in shock. "The grey mist is gone," the green-robed girl exclaimed. The red-robed girl suddenly turned around and said, "Sister, now must be the chance of a millennium, we should go in quickly. Otherwise, when everyone knows, the spirit herbs here would be taken away." The green-robed girl hesitated and nodded, "Okay, but you must stay close to me. If there's any danger we'll leave immediately." The two agreed and carefully stepped foot into the Lost Soul ruins. Yi Mo knew that even though the female cultivator was injured, he still wasn't able to kill her. He might as well find the immortal curl flower and leave. The spirit Kai here was very dense. Yi Mo scanned with spirit sense and immediately saw a huge spirit gathering formation. Below it were 2 large herb gardens. One was full of low-level spirit herbs, level 6 and below. The other one was level 7 and above. There were even 30 level 9 spirit herbs. This was the first time Yi Mo had seen this many level 9 spirit herbs. He saw 4 immortal curl flower immediately. This was indeed immortal curl flower, and there were more than one. Jiling could be saved now. He charged over immediately without hesitation and moved the entire herb garden into his golden page world. Yi Mo ignored the low-level spirit herb garden. There were some precious herbs there, but it was more important to run now. Rumble before Yi Mo could get out of here, the formations he set up had been crippled. At the same time, he felt he was bound. It was as though space itself had become stagnant. Without hesitation, Yi Mo spat out some essence blood and hacked out with Zishu. A purple ray flew across and his body loosened, but it immediately slowed down again. Yimo's face changed. This wasn't a domain but some spirit sense cultivation method that was similar to domains. It meant he was trapped by her spirit sense. Yimo's spirit sense was very powerful. Never had he thought there would be someone who could trap him with spirit sense. He was sure even a truth realization state peak stage wouldn't be able to do that. It was as though he was tied by an invisible rope that even Zishu couldn't sever. It would recover immediately as soon as it was cut. Was this cultivator's spirit sense powerful to this degree? I told you, I will make you my soul jar, the woman shrieked. Yimo spat more blood but he couldn't resist at all. He felt his sea of consciousness was rumbling and even his soul was departing him. At this moment 2 girls ran in here and saw the fight scene between a naked woman and a young man and they were stunned. Yimo felt that her spirit sense was like an invisible hand trying to crush his sea of consciousness and take his soul away. Yimo felt that her spirit sense was like an invisible hand trying to crush his sea of consciousness and take his soul away. Such a powerful spirit sense cultivation method, such a powerful soul. This female cultivator's soul must have been injured when he interrupted her cultivation, and yet she was still this powerful. One could see how powerful she would be if she was at her peak. Brother Jiling was right. Cultivators who cultivated the soul-devouring cultivation method were indeed invincible at the same cultivation level in terms of soul power. But Yimo believed if he was truth realization state level 6, his spirit sense wouldn't be weaker than hers. Yimo used his spirit sense sword to try sever off the spirit sense hand that reached deep into his sea of consciousness, but he felt his spirit sense sword was lacking something. The 2 girls began to worry seeing this and the female cultivator's face changed. She sneered and grabbed out with her cultivation essence giant hand. The 2 girls froze. There was nothing they could do against a truth realization state's cultivation essence giant hand. But what the 2 didn't expect was that when the cultivation essence giant hand was about to grab their heads, the female cultivator grunted and blood seeped out of her mouth again. She used a few hand signs and the cultivation essence giant hand grabbed towards Yimo instead. Yimo captured a wave of the spirit sense giant hand when the female cultivator attacked the 2 girls. Sensing that, Yimo had some enlightenment and his spirit sense sword evolved again. It turned into an almost material blade and sliced out. That spirit sense giant hand was instantly crippled with that strike. At the same time, Yimo knew that due to the enlightenment, his purple eye soul sever broke through again and reached the 4th level, spirit sense transformation. But before Yimo could rejoice, he hacked out with Zishu instead of running. The 2 girls saw Yimo's strike bring up a purple veil. They didn't dare to linger and ran out immediately. The female cultivator looked at Yimo in disbelief. Yimo's spirit sense sword actually shattered her spirit sense giant hand and made her sea of consciousness even more injured. She didn't expect a cauldron-filling state level 2 cultivator to have such power. Even though she only had 1/10 of her spirit sense, she should be able to easily kill a cauldron-filling state level 2. But not only did she not kill him but he broke free from her spirit sense mimicked domain. So without hesitation, she gave up on killing the 2 girls and attacked Yimo again. However, Yimo thought the same. He didn't run and instead attacked back. He wasn't going to kill those 2 girls no matter what. The reason Yimo did this was because he found that the female cultivator didn't seem to be able to move. She just sat in the same spot. His spirit sense couldn't scan what was there. With her forced stop in cultivation, her power was less than 1%. If he ran off now he would be at a disadvantage instead. So, Yimo gambled instead and immediately attacked with Zishu. Thud his sword completely crippled the cultivation essence giant hand. Yimo rejoiced. This female cultivator was just putting on a show, she must be badly injured. Realizing this, Yimo had no concerns and attacked with Zishu again, illusion cloud Hua mountain strike. The female cultivator grunted again, a red shadow dashed past and clashed with Yimo's Zishu. Another thud came, but this time Yimo didn't get the advantage. He was struck a few hundred meters away and crashed into a rock. Yimo spat some blood and didn't keep attacking. He didn't understand how much power this female cultivator had. The cultivation essence giant hand wasn't much stronger than him before, but the red magic artifact exploded with power tens of times stronger than the cultivation essence giant hand. The female cultivator looked coldly at Yi-Mo and waved her hand. A set of clothes appeared on her. She said coldly, "Leave the herb garden and piss off." Yi-Mo dazed and immediately knew this female cultivator had no ability to kill him. He sneered, "Is this herb garden yours?" Yi-Mo was completely guessing, but when he said this female cultivator didn't rebuke him, meaning his guess was right. The female cultivator answered, "I came earlier than you, so the herb garden is mine. It's already very generous of me that I didn't make you compensate for interrupting my cultivation. If you don't go now, then don't blame me." As she spoke, she threw out a few formation flags. Yi-Mo sneered and also threw a few out. Moments later, the female cultivator was shook. "Yuo Yuri, a level 9 formation grandmaster, you've changed all the formations outside?" Yi-Mo sneered. "If I don't do something, am I going to wait for you to trap me with your formation? Keep dreaming." Yi-Mo just realized that this female cultivator wasn't letting him go but letting him go out to trap him with the formation. Clearly she was in some trouble right now, or she wouldn't be trapping him with the formation. "I was wondering how you came in and how others came in. My soul mist and my souls were all released by you." Her voice turned icy cold. Yi-Mo was dazed and realized that after he came in, he changed the formation flags. The mist and souls dissipated after the confinement was lost. No wonder the two girls came in. She cultivated soul-devouring cultivation method, and those mist and souls were her lifeline. He destroyed it all and took her spirit herb garden. There was no way she didn't want to kill him. The female cultivator's power rose and that red light appeared in her hand again. Yi-Mo saw it clearly this time. It was a red band. It had a very powerful Kai. It was clearly an extreme-grade cultivation artifact. Yi-Mo released his octagonal cauldron without hesitation and hacked out with Zishu. For Yi-Mo, the best defense was the best offense. Instead of waiting for her to attack, he might as well attack first. The female cultivator waved the red band casually and it smashed away his octagonal cauldron, then it pierced his chest like a snake. Yi-Mo flew back again and spat blood in the air. He called back the octagonal cauldron and ate a few pills. Such a powerful woman, she was clearly heavily injured, but even so, he couldn't defend against her at all. Yi-Mo knew that the reason he could crippled her spirit sense hand was due to some other reason. Even though she was heavily injured, it was very easy for her to kill him. Yi-Mo took back the octagonal cauldron and didn't attack. He was thinking about how to escape now. The woman beat him in one move but didn't chase up. She ate a few pills with a pale face. When Yi-Mo flew almost 1,000 meters away from her, she still didn't move nor use her red band. Yi-Mo was certain she couldn't move now. The female cultivator didn't attack and Yi-Mo didn't run. The two were in a stalemate. Yi-Mo was thinking of a way out of this. The longer this went on, the worse it was for him. The female cultivator was thinking the same. It wasn't good to drag it out for her as well. Now, Lost Soul Ruins was no longer the place people didn't dare to come in. She didn't have the confidence to kill Yi-Mo in one move. The octagonal cauldron was a very powerful defense and his spirit sense was on par with hers in her injured state. The two girls ran for their lives. They were scared shitless by the nude female cultivator and Yi-Mo. If the young cultivator who went in first didn't help, they would be crushed meat by now. The two girls ran for their lives. They were scared shitless by the nude female cultivator and Yi-Mo. If the young cultivator who went in first didn't help, they would be crushed meat by now. "Sister, what is their power level?" "I couldn't tell at all." The red-robed girl asked once they were 10,000 kilometers from Lost Soul Ruins. The green-robed girl shook her head. "I can't tell, but that female cultivator seemed injured. Even so, she could still use her cultivation essence giant hand. She's at least disaster transformation state, tertiary stage, or even truth realization state. That male cultivator can fend off her, meaning he won't be much weaker than her. He would at least be disaster transformation state level. He might look so young, but he's probably older than Dad. Then what do we do now? With this happening, people would be coming Lost Soul Ruins soon," the red-robed girl continued. Let's wait for father here, he will come soon, the green-robed girl said with certainty. Yimo knew that the female cultivator was gathering cultivation essence now, but the exit was too close to the female cultivator. If he wanted to go, he might not be able to use essence blood to dodge her attack. With his current distance and how the female cultivator couldn't move, even if she used her red rope, he would at most be heavily injured. It wouldn't be enough to kill him. But Yimo was worried about cultivators coming here soon. If a few truth realization state cultivators came, he would still be dead, especially those guys from the Dragon Teng Palace. The female cultivator saw by Yimo's facial expression that he knew she wouldn't be able to kill him if he didn't come within a certain distance. When her cultivation essence recovered to a degree, she didn't attack and instead looked at Yimo. You're a cultivator too. Do you know how much enmity there is for stopping one's cultivation foundation? Today you ruined mine, so it's not over the line even if I burn your soul. Yimo sneered. Don't make it sound so nice. Your soul-devouring cultivation method is pretty much doing the same thing non-stop. Don't give me that bullshit. Weren't you going to use me as your soul jar before? What won't an evil woman like you do? It's a pity I don't have the ability to kill you now. Once I reach truth realization state, I will kill a scum like you every time I see one. Haha, I'm evil. The woman shrieked. She pointed outside hysterically. If I'm 1/10,000th as evil as Feng Chun, you would be overestimating me. You think I made those soul jars? It's Feng Chun, that bastard. He ambushed his old friend and used his son to set up the spirit transfer formation to take his daughter-in-law's spirit roots. Then, he used his soul shackle formation to lock his wife's soul at the bottom of the lake forever. Yimo looked at the female cultivator in confusion. Wasn't this female cultivator locked here? Was she Feng Chun's wife? No wonder she couldn't move. The female cultivator's voice turned tragic. You guessed it, that's right, I'm his wife. I have been locked at the bottom of the lake for countless years. The spirit transfer formation he used his son to set up was sabotaged by me. Although I've been locked down here, I had the means to tell the news to Li He. Li He took away his daughter and Feng Shi's soul. But even so, Feng Chun didn't stop. He wasn't able to improve his spirit roots, so he wanted to cultivate the soul devour cultivation method. The woman clenched her teeth. He let spirit beasts attack his own Bright Moon City and killed all the spirit beasts and people in the city. Then he set up a soul devouring formation and set up the soul mist to nourish the souls here for his cultivation. He used his own son to be a soul jar to nourish the souls purely because this way, it would benefit him more. Do you know who the first soul he was going to devour was? Mine. He not only locked my here but also wanted to devour my soul. This animal. No, he's worse than an animal. Yimo sneered. Well, aren't you all right now? You're no better yourself. Feng Shi is your son, yet you still used him as a soul jar. The female cultivator calmed down and said hatefully, I'm fine because I ambushed him. When he devoured my soul, I used a secret technique to escape. I know he isn't dead and I know he will come back, but before I reach truth realization state peak stage, I can't leave this soul shackle formation. I must kill him. Only after I kill him can I die peacefully. Yimo sneered in contempt. He realized this was all set up by Feng Chun, but it benefited this female cultivator in the end. The woman saw Yimo's expression and said coldly, that Feng Shi isn't my son, he's the son of the bitch who suggested to him to lock me up. But that bitch was also ambushed by Feng Chun. That bitch's father is Feng Chun's mortal enemy, but Feng Chun was good at acting and tricked her. Then, he went to torture her son. Yimo was speechless. What bullshit logic was this? That woman's son was also Feng Chun's son? Regardless, Feng Chun's acts were inhuman. But his wife wasn't someone good either. The more Yimo heard, the more he was disgusted. That Li He was blind, making such a friend and bringing harm to himself and his daughter. Seeing this, the female cultivator suddenly said, Feng Chun is also a level 9 formation grandmaster. You're no ordinary person to be able to break his formation. You're only cauldron filling state level 2, you should know that soon, people will come here and you still won't be able to get away. So I'm going to make a deal with you, help me remove the soul shackle formation and give me an immortal curl flower, then we're even. Yimo sneered. You're quite cunning. The female cultivator also sneered. It's not your immortal curl flower, is that herb garden yours? You took it from me. Yimo felt a little awkward since that was really the case. The female cultivator said again, if you're willing then hurry up, there's an half extreme grade spirit range and a broken low grade spirit range, I can give them to you. Otherwise, if I guard this entrance, you won't be able to dodge my attack so you won't be able to leave. Yimo knew she was right so he nodded. Okay then, it's a deal. Make an oath that after I free you you must not attack me. The female cultivator said without hesitation, I, Miao Hujan, swear that if someone frees me from soul shackle gormation, I will treat him as my savior my entire life. I will never go back on this or I will die to divine damnation. Her voice was shaky when she made the oath. Clearly, if some level 9 formation grandmaster came to do this deal with her earlier, she was willing to do anything. She even rejoiced that Yimo came here. Yimo was decisive and since she made such an oath he didn't hesitate. He knew that it wasn't good for him to waste time here. He threw out a few formation flags and made more. The female cultivator watched nervously as Yimo did his thing. For a few thousand years she had been locked here and now she was about to break free. No matter how powerful her spirit sense was, if she didn't break free she would never be able to ascend into the immortal realm. 30 minutes later, Yimo threw out the last formation flag and the tens of restrictions confining her were freed. She got up and howled, Feng Chun you bastard, I will lock your soul and cut you inch by inch. Yimo stood on the side warily. The female cultivator looked at Yimo. Although you made me lose half my power, you saved me as well. I won't look for trouble with you but you need to give me an immortal curl flower. Yimo threw one over without hesitation. The female cultivator nodded but suddenly her face changed. She said, someone's here, a truth realization state cultivator. She instantly dashed through the formation door and disappeared. Yimo looked at the half-extreme grade spirit range and gritted his teeth, taking it into his golden page world. The female cultivator heard this and paused, murmuring, a mere cauldron-filling state, how dare he? The rumbling sound was Yimo taking the spirit range. As soon as he took it, he saw a flying magic artifact about to land here. The cultivators outside weren't able to scan in with spirit sense due to the formation. Yimo couldn't care about the small herb garden and dashed out on Blue Moon. Dad, look, the white mist is gone, the Lost Soul Ruins is safe. There's a dried-up lake in the center and there's a formation to enter it. Sister and I went there were 2 cultivators there, both very powerful. That young-looking man saved us. The 2 young girls from before and a middle-aged man came on the flying magic artifact. Dad, look, the white mist is gone, the Lost Soul Ruins is safe. There's a dried-up lake in the center and there's a formation to enter it. Sister and I went there were 2 cultivators there, both very powerful. That young-looking man saved us. The 2 young girls from before and a middle-aged man came on the flying magic artifact. The man nodded but didn't go into Lost Soul Ruins. He looked at the direction Yimo left and frowned. The green-robed girl said, Dad, someone just left here and his flying magic artifact is very fast. Huh. The red-robed girl murmured, then should we go in or chase that person who left? Before the middle-aged man could talk, a few more people dashed here, all truth realization state cultivators. They saw the mist dissipate from the Lost Soul Ruins and were shocked. The leading truth realization state turned to the middle-aged man and saluted with his fists. So it's Yin Zhun Island Lord, Brother Jiefeng. Your news is quite fast. The middle-aged man smiled. Dragon Teng King's news is fast too, you came right after me. The people who came were the 5 truth realization states from Dragon Teng Palace. No one wanted to give up a level 7 pill king so they came together. Dragon Teng King clearly felt some concern with this island Lord Jie and smiled dryly before looking back at the Yu Tian Island Truth Realization State cultivator. Brother Qi Rui, what's going on? Why do I feel he's in the Lost Soul Ruins? Teng Xiong was very shocked that Yimo went in. He thought Yimo just came to the outskirts. Lan Chirue was very shocked inside despite looking calm. He felt his spirit sense mark was in Lost Soul Ruins before but was now gradually leaving Lost Soul Ruins. He didn't know what Teng Xiong meant, Did Teng Xiong not know his spirit sense mark was leaving, or was there some problem with it? No matter what, he wasn't going to tell Teng Xiong this. He frowned for a while and said, I also feel he's in the lost soul ruins. Is he not afraid to die? Then he walked up to the middle-aged man and saluted with his fists. Brother Jie, what's going on here? Why did the mist disappear? It doesn't seem to affect spirit sense much either. The middle-aged man smiled. I just came here and haven't gone in yet, but I want to. What do you guys think? Teng Xiong nodded. Yes, I agree. What do you guys think? A sharp-chinned cultivator immediately said, I, Huang Qi, agree too. There was a level 9 spirit herb in there before, now is a good time to check. The balding cultivator next to him also nodded. I, Gongzhe, agree too. Then everyone looked at Lan, who thought for a moment before saying, this lost soul ruins is very dangerous, I need to think about it. After all, it's not easy reaching truth realization state. The highest powered people in this region of the Heartless Sea are mostly here, it's not good if something bad happens. The truth realization state middle stage next to him heard this and also nodded. I agree with Brother Lan, we need to think about it. Jie Feng suddenly smiled. Then you guys think about it, we will go in first. Then, Jie Feng went in without hesitation. Seeing this, the two girls followed. Teng Xiong looked at Lan Qirue in confusion. According to his knowledge of him, he was no coward. He was a very adventurous guy. Now that the white mist disappeared, he didn't want to go into the lost soul ruins. Plus, Yimo was in there too. Was Lan Qirue not interested in this level 7 pill king at all? Regardless, Teng Xiong didn't hesitate and went in, so did Huang Qi and Gongzhe. Moments later, there was just Lan Qirue and the other truth realization state cultivator. That cultivator asked, Brother Lan, did you notice Yimo's trail? Lan Qirue nodded. That's right, when we came he was still near Lost Soul Ruins, but now he's a few 100,000 kilometers away, let's chase up quickly. Level 9 spirit herbs aren't as precious as a level 7 pill king. If we control him, then so what if Teng Xiong gets all the level 9 spirit herbs? He would still need to come to us for help. Haha, great insight Brother Lan. The truth realization state middle stage laughed. Hi CAI brother, I know your support for me, there will be benefits for you too. Lan Qirue smiled. The two sped off. There's no soul pressure in here indeed, this illusion formation also seems to be lacking spirit power for support, Huang Qi said. The red-robed girl was about to say something but Jie Feng already spoke, it really is so, we should be the first here otherwise, this illusion formation only needs hollow spirit state power to break it. The red-robed girl was straightforward but she also knew what her father meant and that was to not tell she came here before. Jie Feng meant that indeed. He wasn't afraid of the three but it was better to be careful. This region was mostly populated by beast cultivators. He was able to take over a dense spirit Kai island purely because of his power. Otherwise, the beast cultivators nearby would have devoured him whole. They passed through a street and Teng Xiong noticed his spirit sense mark. It was in a broken shop on the side of the road, but Teng Xiong didn't search it with his spirit sense. He knew Jie Feng's power, he would notice something immediately. He just acted normal and kept following Jie Feng. As long as this spirit sense mark didn't leave he wouldn't need to worry. His only worry was that Yimo's soul was lost. If so, it was pointless even if he found Yimo. Jie Feng was a formation master and when he came here he frowned. Someone has been here and changed up the formations here. The two girls immediately knew it was the young man but they didn't dare to say it. Soon, the group came to that dried-up lake. There's a stealth formation here, it's been broken and there's a ruined formation door, Jie Feng said. The truth realization state level 7 cultivator Gongzhe said, we can't scan spirit sense inside that formation door but there's spirit Kai seeping out. Clearly, this is the place of the high-level spirit herbs. There are 6 of us here, Island Lord Jie and Dragon Teng King are the strongest, don't you think we should divide things here before we go in? Jie Feng nodded and so did Teng Xiong. What's your opinion Island Lord Jie? Huang Qi suddenly said, how about this, we 4 truth realization state cultivators each get 1 share, Island Lord Jez's 2 daughters can get one share together. If there are things other than spirit herbs, we can divide it later. I agree. Jefong nodded. The rest of the people also agreed. The group went inside. Someone has been here and took 1 spirit range and most of the spirit herbs. Teng Xiong scanned the area and said heavily, "You're tuning into the Celestial War YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.